Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Gaming After Dark podcast. I'm your host, Mr. Boom Boom Kaboom. It's Noof Nukem in the room, and on standby, my other co-panel members, the always amazing Titan Drago. Titan, what is up, sir?
What's up, everyone? Lots of smaller topics this week, and one I haven't heard anyone even talking about is the PS5 not coming with an HDMI 2.1 cable. I don't know if you guys heard of that, but I personally, I think that should tell you that the PS5 is essentially it's another scamming. They're playing its players at the beginning of this gen. It's all over the place. This is yet another example of that. They've touted 8K, but they're releasing the console without a cable that can properly send that signal to the TV. So, like what? Anyways, like this wasn't even on the docket tonight, but like to me, like that's how much PlayStation is really dropping the ball at the beginning of this generation. We can't even like cover all the stuff in a 2-hour weekly podcast. Like it's crazy to me, but I'm ready for tonight. Noof.
Sounds like it.
Let's do this. Mag, let's go. Who's our Mojo Blues? Let's roll. Let's do this dang thing.
Well, my other amazing co-host, and again, don't forget, guys, we got some amazing segments coming up later for you tonight, including Ask Arnold. So make sure you get your questions ready for that segment about midway through the show. We have In the Next Generation with Titan, and of course, Middle-Aged Game Guy and Tony Baloney will have Name That Game. It's coming up towards the end. Your chance to win some cool prizes, courtesy of the Mag. And speaking of the Mag, he is on standby. What is up, my brother?
Well, good evening, Noof. Good evening, Mojo Blues, Titan, Drago, and chat. We are here for Gaming After Dark. I am super excited to be here. We got some great topics tonight, so let's have some fun and let's get to it.
Yes, indeed. And we have a special guest this week making his first appearance on Gaming After Dark. I have a feeling it won't be his last. It is Mr. Mojo Blues. He has a podcast called the Best Damn Xbox Podcast. He's running his own YouTube channel. You definitely, I know for sure, I have seen him around the Twitterverse quite a little bit, weighing in on different things. And he's here tonight to help weigh in on the topic. So give it up, guys. A big warm welcome to Mr. Mojo Blues.
Hey everybody, and thanks for having me on, Noof. Looking forward to it. Let's get it going.
Oh yeah, baby. We're all primed and ready. This is what you call the high octane podcast, baby. There's nobody snoozing and losing around here. Maybe boozing, but yeah, we're ready to freaking go. Before we get going though, guys, let's give a shout out to the people that make this podcast a special one, and that is our audience. They are fucking fantastic with a big capital F. Timothy Dixon first in the house, HTK 360, Draven Arrow, Prophet back from the dead, Leonidas in hanging out with us, ACS Husk in the house. We have got who else we got going on? Crazy Greek Dude is with us, Anime Heaven, Spider-Man 356 always swinging by each and every week. We got Shizno Elite Terrence Tate. We got Prophet in here. Yeah, man. So we got a great crew already, and I'm sure there will be people coming over as soon as RDX wraps up. Big shout out to our RDX podcast brothers over there who run one hell of a podcast. So guys, well, we'll start out with you, Mojo. Maybe for those who don't know, just give us a little bit of background on yourself real quick, like, what you've been playing, what your, favorite console of choice, that sort of stuff.
Well, my primary gaming console is Xbox One X right now, and it'll become the Series X. Mm-hmm. But my all-time favorite console is
Sega guy.
Well, it's the Saturn. I'm real big on, but I also like the PC Engine TurboGrafx 16.
Nice.
But the Saturns, I've just been recently playing some horizontal shooters on it.
Yep.
And,
nice.
That they're doing the. I've also been doing some raiding, but
what's that, on Destiny?
No. Raiden.
Oh, Raiden. Oh, yes,
old school shooter. But I was
okay.
In honor of our coming for the Series X. I've been playing some R-Type too. I'm big into the a lot of retro stuff. I'm an old dude, so I've been. Yeah. And when I say I'm gaming since Pong, I hear people in their 20s say that shit, and I'm like, that's just fucking stupid. All right. Come on. You're 25 years old. You've not been gaming since Pong. That came out in like 74.
Yeah. No, the only Pong they're playing is probably beer pong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But and I get it. Some people, can be younger and start out on older consoles, but I'm always, and even like I hear people, yeah, I started on the NES, and I'm like, yeah, you started on the NES after about the time the PS3 came out. You were 4 or 5 years old, and you got handed the crap console by your brothers or something. But that's cool. Nothing wrong with that. But they act like it's not the same. If you wasn't around when that stuff came out, you don't have that full understanding of how things work. So when you hear people spout out crap like they are about these two consoles that are about to come out next month or or in November, it's not quite October yet. So, but just over a month, it's like, yeah, just shut up. Come on, shut up. You don't know what you're talking about. But anyway. Yeah.
Nice. Well, again, welcome to the podcast. I love some of those.
This is my little mini rant to start things off.
Retro games are good, baby. Retro games are good. They have a place in history. Some of them age a little worse than others, but there's always ones that are just classics that even to this day. I know I just picked up my Super NES Classic the other day and started playing some games. And like, you take something like Donkey Kong Country. Like, oh my God, that game is still freaking amazing to this day. Just so well done. Titan, man, what the heck you been playing the last week?
Well, I've been spending some money, and more money's going to get spent here this week. So I pre-ordered Cyberpunk. I got that out of the way. I'm still waiting on the rumors for AC Valhalla. I'm still, I may be crazy, but I'm just going to wait on pre-order. Like, why do I have to pre-order it now, right? If it comes to
money, dude.
If it comes to Game Pass, it comes to Game Pass.
I don't want your money.
Right? I know like Mag is really like Mag's putting his future channel on that rumor right there.
That's my hill, dude. That's my hill.
He's dying on that hill or living on it. Yeah, I like it. But so yeah, I'm gonna hang out. I'm not gonna die on that hill. I'm just gonna hang out with you for a while on that hill. And other than that, I've been there's a couple other games I'm buying this week. I'm going to be probably buying Port Royale 4 this week. I was a huge Port Royale 3 fan. I don't know if you guys played that. It was back on the 360. I loved that game. So hopefully this game can, bring some of those juices back. Yeah. And I bought Real Politics, very small text, but I'm still just getting into that game. It's a strategy game.
Gotcha. I see lots of people right now playing that Mafia remastered edition, so that seems to be a popular one right now. I think Mag, you're probably on that, right?
Yeah. Hey, me che cazzo fatto tutti quanti? Oh man, I'm all over it. Bastardo puttana. Yeah, man. I've been destroying Mafia since it came out on Friday, and my God, what a slow burn that game is. Absolutely adore it. Like, it starts off just kind of like just chugging along. You're like, okay, where the hell is this going? And it just starts building. And by the halfway point, it just all hell breaks loose, and you can't tear yourself away from this story, man. And the music and even the cinematography, the acting, everything is so good and so well done that it really feels like a real 1930s pulp film. And man, is it ever good. It is just so good. Yeah. God, the music and everything, the atmosphere, everything is just so good about it.
And that's how you do a remaster, right? Right from the older, that game originally was on the original Xbox, wasn't it?
I think it came out 2002, so it's an 18-year-old game.
Yeah, so there you go. And it looks pretty fantastic right now, I got to say. Yeah. So anything besides that one, or?
No, that's pretty much it. I just wrapped up Uncharted Lost Legacy because I'm trying to
nice.
I'm trying to burn through the last. I think I only have like 3 games left on my PS4 backlog. Yep. So I just finished Lost Legacy. What an amazing game that was. And it's one of those games that you play, and every 5 minutes you're like, why the fuck did I wait 3 years?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's so good. I mean, it's a nice compact little package. And I know we've had discussions about this before about some games that just go on for fucking ever. And when you hit like the 45-hour mark of a story, you're like, come on.
I'm starting to feel
the trilogy.
Yeah.
It's like someone kill somebody or die already. Like just end this. You know, like I love Last of Us 2. Loved Last of Us 2, but god damn it, that story went on forever. And it felt like I was the one with the backpack sludging through, Seattle or whatever the fuck. You know
Real
what I'm saying?
Quick, Mac, did you get the trilogy or just the
No, because I already played. No, I just got Mafia Definitive Edition. That was it. Okay. Because I bought Mafia 3 when it came out. And even though it was kind of a buggy kind of game, I loved that game. I loved everything about it. I love the 60s setting. The high racial tension thing in the South, the Southern U.S. thing going on. There was all of that in there. There was identity politics in there because he was half black, half white, and he was also a vet, wasn't he? A Vietnam vet or something.
Right. Yep.
So there was all that going on. So there's some politics in there, and the music. I mean, when it starts up, you got Jimi Hendrix.
Yes.
Come on, baby.
Yeah.
That's how you start a game, you know. Yes. All of a sudden, yes. And anyways, and Mafia 2 is how I got introduced to the series because it came on games with gold. Yeah. And I don't know, like 2 years ago, 3 years ago, whatever it was. And they dropped it in games with gold. And I'm like, I never played Mafia before. And it was more of a PC series.
Yes.
So anyways, I downloaded it. I loved it. It was great. I thought it was a lot of fun. And I'm like, this is a great little game. And then Mafia 3 came out, and then that's it. Then I fell in love. And then I got this one. So yeah. Anyway, that's the long version of answering your question.
All right, let's catch up with the chat real quick, and then I'll just let you know what I've been playing real quick. So we have got in here, who did we miss here? Scrolling down the line, I know some people came in. We got Custodes X up in the chat. What's going on, Custodes? Anime Heaven is here. Jago Kukin has jumped over to it. We got Pong Soul hanging out with us tonight. Doggy Dog 420 is in the house. We got Dreadpool. He is here. We got the Doctor, so we know we're in good hands tonight when the Doctor's in the house. Good group. Infinite just showed up. Fantastic, guys. Thank you guys for being here. Greatly appreciate Sparhawks in the house. Nice stuff. Alex Basha. There you go. Lots of familiar faces. Guys, share this stuff out. And don't forget, super chats are welcome, but not expected, but always appreciated. At some point, I hope to give back to our amazing community who have been here supporting us all the time. So thank you, guys. Hopefully, if you didn't get a shout out, guys, make sure you catch my attention in the chat here. I'll make sure you get the acknowledgement. That's at least what we can do here for you guys. As far as me, I've been playing the Avengers game. Not too bad. Just kind of ran into a couple snags here and there. So I've been playing that. I've been playing Mafia 3. I went back with that because everybody was, of course, on the Mafia buzz, and I haven't finished that game. But you're totally right. I mean, that game, it's going to be epic when it starts off with some classic music, Jimi Hendrix right from the get-go. The game's had a lot of bugs over the last couple of years. It cleaned up a lot, but it still looks a bit weird. It's got some weird HDR implementation or something, and that game never looks quite right to me. It is improved, but still looks a bit off, but it's a lot of fun. Like I said, I love that setting. They love the character and everything else. And what else have I been playing? I've been trying to finish off Ghost of Tsushima. Speaking of games that seem like overextending their welcome, I'm still on the second island. I feel like I've been playing this game for fucking eternity. I feel like I'm going to be a ghost myself by the time I finish it. My fucking sword's gonna be rusty. Holy shit. Just so many missions, right? So anyway, that's kind of it in a nutshell. I've been playing a little bit of mixed mash of everything right now. And I just wanted to say, guys, community game night was fantastic this past weekend. We did the original Titanfall. We had a half decent turnout, got some good games out of it. Then we played some Mortal Kombat, and you guys will be pleased to know, well, I lost every single match of Mortal Kombat. Sounds like a running joke here lately. I'm losing everything. I told the guys up front, guys, I suck at these fucking games. I never used to play them online. And the people I'm playing are obviously playing it way more than me at a much higher level. They know the moves better. And I'm getting my ass kicked half the time because I'm trying to do fucking moves and I can't pull them off. And you know what I mean? So, and the timing is different on the game. So, but I had a lot of fun and I did not destroy a controller. So that's good shit right there. Alrighty, so let's get right into the topics, and middle-aged game guy basically almost segue us in there. We'll start with a real easy peasy one, games with gold. Yes, it is out, guys, again, and these are the games with gold for October on the Xbox platform. I don't know how many of these guys you played. I haven't played any of them, but I'll talk about that in a second. So from October 1st to the 31st, you can pick up Slayaway Camp, the on Butcher's Cut, I think it's called. October 16th to November 15th, you get one that is an Xbox One title called Maid of Sker. It's like a horror game. I've heard pretty good things about that one, actually, but I've never played it. You get an old Xbox game October 1st to the 15th called Spinks, which I've heard of it, never played it. And lastly, October 16th, in time for Halloween, you get Costume Quest, which I heard was a good, fun little romp a while back. So there you go, guys. That's the games with gold for this month. How do you guys feel about it? Anybody want to take the floor on this one? I know it shouldn't take that long.
Yeah, just real quick. I think we just need to call these old games with gold. Let's just collect.
That Square one is new though.
When are they just going to say, hey, you know what? These are the games with gold and they're getting thrown into Game Pass. Just throw these games into Game Pass. I don't understand I don't understand dividing these two anymore. It's just like it's almost like I'm surprised like fanboys haven't taken since they're reaching for narratives. I'm surprised they're not jumping all over games with gold or something, you know? It's just like
I got a new name for it now, Xbox Live Old Gold.
Old gold, there you go. That's about all I got.
Have you played any of them? Like, do you remember? Like, because me, I 4 of those freaking games, I never played a single one on that list.
Nah,
I did. I played Costume Quest.
Oh yeah, I played Costume.
I played both of them actually. They're fun.
Yeah,
they're cute. You just kind of go around and like get costumes and find stuff and easy achievements, that kind of thing. And you can bury them in like 5 to 10 hours, give or take. And that's about it. I mean, that's the only one I played on the list. I don't even, honest to God, I don't even look at games with gold anymore. I mean, I kind of glance at them quickly, but I don't recall the last time I downloaded one. I'm not even gonna lie, because most of the games that, like, even they put the Division in September.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've had the Division for 4 years. Like, I'm not gonna re-download. I'm like, oh, the Division's out, and I'm like, well, who hasn't played it at this point?
Not only that, that's a good point, but not only that, just to add to that, the Division 2 has been on sale for like $5.
$5.
So, and I bought it at $5, and I think I put like 20 minutes into it so far.
Well, the one that's on gold right now is the original Division.
Like what's the point?
So what's the point of throwing Division 1 in there when Division 2
is dirt cheap?
Yeah. So
some people don't like Division 2. They prefer the first one, though.
You know what? That's actually a good point,
Mojo. People already have the damn game, so they don't need it. So
I spent more time on the first Division than I did in the second one.
Yeah, I like the first one way better.
Yeah.
I did as well, but I haven't given the second one like a fair shake yet. It's just not been on my, the Division is just not on my to play. It's not at the top of my to play list. You know what I mean?
When I first got it, I had already heard all those various reviews of people talking about how the AI could flank and come around and get you and stuff. But when I played, they never did that crap. And I'm like, well, maybe because I suck at these kind of games and I'm not doing something right, because the AI just seemed as stupid as the first game. So I don't know. I didn't even get 10 hours into the Division 2. I probably got 50 hours into the first one, and I kind of actually enjoyed it.
I know Boomstick raved about this game.
Yeah.
But
I put in about 70, 80 hours into Division 2 with my wife. So because she loves online co-op like shooters and stuff. So
see, I thought when the Division originally came out, the first game, the second one, obviously when the first game came out, I thought it was going to be a more technical version of Ghost Recon, essentially. Mm-hmm. And then when I found out it was going to be fucking Division meets fucking Destiny. You know what I mean? Like the collectathon, the leveled up enemies and shit like that. I was just like, right off the bat, I lost. I was like, okay. Yeah. Now you got bullet sponge enemies, and you got fucking guys you can't play with because they're higher level than you, and all that sort of shit. I was like, no, I'm lost.
Yeah, the bullet sponge thing was really annoying after a while. You know, like you're trying to shoot a guy, you got like one of those light machine guns that has like 120 bullets per clip. And I'm unloading like 120 fucking bullets of this guy, and I'm like, I could have taken down a T-Rex. Okay,
I like how
not some French guy with a helmet.
I like how the one they at least added the armor and breaking off and stuff, and that kind of made it, a little more bearable.
Yeah. Whatever happened to good old action games? Now everything's got fucking levels. Like even in playing this fucking Avengers game now, like you're the Hulk. You're the Hulk. You should be able to destroy these little pip shits of crap, right? Like one smash, Hulk smash. You tell me you can destroy a bus with your fucking hands, but you can't destroy a little dude with a shield? I mean, come on, man.
I gotta blame that
fucking straight, dude.
I gotta blame that on microtransactions and things like that. That's like the hey, buy this pack or get this expansion and get these perks with it, all this XP and stuff like that. I don't know. I don't even know if it's in that. I don't know if that's the case with this particular game, because I don't know much about of the Avengers game, but
Avengers
but
is
I know.
Yeah, it's a games as a service, so to speak.
Is it okay? So
Yeah.
I'm right on point with that then.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, you get once you hit the end game, once you do the story, you finish the story, you do the end game, and then now it's all about leveling up, getting better gear, all that kind of stuff. I mean, I understand the gear that you can't
why they do it.
Because they were like, oh, the gauntlets on Hulk's hands and whatever, like headpiece and all this kind of stuff. I understand why they don't do that, because they are iconic characters. You don't want to put goofy hats on the Hulk. You know what I mean? Like, it's not fucking Fortnite. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't want to put like a fluorescent pink sombrero on him and hey, look what I got for $25. Like that.
But
that's
somebody
stupid.
would.
And somebody would. Absolutely. It's ridiculous. But anyway, they didn't do that. But I mean, it's still that basic idea, but I lost interest once I was done the story. I think I farted around for about an hour in the post game, and I haven't turned it on since. It's just sitting there now.
Do they have like a Bruce Banner type version of the Hulk, like kind of like a toned down, more intellectual, like
in the story?
They do. Okay.
In the story, you play as Bruce Banner at some points, but not really. He's just kind of walking around.
Yeah. Let's catch up with the chat here real quick. We got Alex Basha, HDK360, Anime Heavens in here, Jesse Darby, Red Raven. Who else we got coming in here? The Lure King, OSRS. What's going on? Pong Soul is here. Prophet. Hey, Invader Gaming's in the house. What's going on, guys? Thank you for being here. 37 amazing peeps up in the house right now. Loving it. Loving it. Good stuff, guys. Crispy Bob is here. I knew I heard that guy dropping in the back door. What's going on, Crispy? So anyway, guys, let's end it there. Games of gold. Nobody's fucking surprised at this point. You know what I mean? It's just like I said, it might as well be called old gold, because it's either most of the games are either really old or they're just stuff that, like I said, you'd be hard pressed to spend full price on any of these games most of the time. I might try that one Made of Skur. Somebody said it was a pretty good game. It's like a horror kind of game, and it is fairly new. I might give that one a roll, but outside of that, it's pretty much business as usual. But we saw the writing on the wall years ago. I certainly did, and it's been that way ever since. It's like I said, one man's trash, another person's treasure. I never played any of them, so technically I suppose I can't complain. I could have 4 games to play, but I got enough backlog right now. I don't need to add games I don't even really care about to that backlog. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So that's like going into a freaking your favorite fast food place, and you buy the meal that you want, but then you start buying a bunch of shit just because it's on sale. Like, I'm gonna get a bunch of these 2-for-1 pies, but fucking well you're gonna come home, they're just gonna sit in the cupboard, and you're gonna throw them in the garbage. Like, it's that kind of deal, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's pretty much it. Was that the Lure Kings? Avengers is terrible. Captain America is terrible. Jago loves that game. Nobody wants a pink vagina and Hulk.
It's
said,
not.
Come on, guys.
It's not a bad game. It's a good game. It's just boring. Now that I'm finished. The story. Does that make any sense?
A little. You saved it with that last quote there, that last line. Now that I finished the story.
Boring. Yeah, plain and simple. How to sum it up in one word? Bored.
Once you beat the shit out of 100 guys, you're just like, all right, I get it.
Yeah.
I
got it. Yeah, I totally understand.
Well, how are the boss battles in it? Because that's what really makes or breaks those games.
They're just kind of,
Well, speaking of old games and segueing into our next topic, how about the amazing performance tests we're starting to see from the media on the Series X with the back compat stuff? Like, I've seen so many games running at like full either 4K 60, like just unbelievable, just plowing through games. And this is stuff that isn't even optimized. This is just kind of hardware out of the box, accelerated games. Like, I know we got that crowd. Oh, look, Xbox got the old games. But, come on, guys. I mean, it's still pretty cool. Most of us still have hundreds of old games and a lot of games that we're still playing. I think it's pretty cool that at least you can go back at no extra charge, and get an improved version of some of the games that maybe you loved and now might even want to go back and play them again just because they run and look better than they ever did before. How do you guys feel about it? I'm going to start with the mag on this one.
Well, you know what? The thing that a lot of people are ignoring, and first of all, I'm not going to get into the whole fanboy nonsense about people complaining about this, because I know there's a new narrative, because, people are grasping at straws right now. Okay. They're like rats in a sinking ship. When Microsoft takes away all the stones from you, what are you going to throw at them? Pebbles. Okay. So that's what they're doing now. And now the new narrative is, oh, they're going to launch with his old games. And I'm like, oh, you ignored the other 8 titles that are coming day one on Game Pass. Okay, no, don't worry about those. But anyways, those older games, there is going to be a whole generation of people who never played Xbox, right? Because Xbox has been doing everything right so far this year. I mean, minus the Halo situation. But besides that, that's fine. They delayed it. Fine. But they've been doing everything right. So therefore, you're going to get a whole bunch of new people who are going to be adopting the Xbox platform. They may never have played Gears 5.
Yes.
Right? This is not just for the hardcore. They're not thinking about the hardcore entirely because the hardcore has already played Gears 5, okay, for the most part, okay? And they know that we're already going to invest in the new generation one way or the other, whether it's going to be the Series X, the Series S, or xCloud, or whatever you're going to do. But now you're attracting a whole new generation of people who've never played those games. And now you're going to get those people to sit down and play Gears 5 and they're going to go, wow, this is fucking phenomenal. Right? And so why wouldn't you enhance these games? And on top of it, the consumer-friendly practice of being for free.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, don't even get me started on this whole fucking Spider-Man situation. Okay, because I'm fucking pissed off. And I'll tell you why. I got the game of the year. I got the PS4 Spider-Man Game of the Year digital edition. Okay, I bought it digitally. I don't buy physical anymore. And I got that. So I'm asking all these questions. And the only answer I've gotten thus far is that I would have to pay $100. I know I already talked about this like 2 weeks ago, but it still bothers me. It's like $100 fucking dollars to be able to play Spider-Man enhanced for the PS5. Go fuck yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Like, come on, man. I already own it. It's my property, but I'm going to play the PS4 version on a PS5 with no bells and whistles? Come on, Sony. Get your shit together, man. So Xbox is doing nothing but good things. So I look at this and I'm like, this is fantastic. But like I said, again, you know, the people are running around saying, well, I already played Ori. I already played Gears 5. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. But they're not doing it just for you. They're doing it because they know that their adoption rate this generation is going to be much better. And because they put the price points in a better position than they did last generation. And there's going to be more people coming into the ecosystem. So that's another reason why they're doing this. So for them, Ori and the Blind Forest and Ori and the Will of the Wisps, those are next-gen titles for those guys.
Yeah.
Right? They're going to look at that and go, wow. And then Gears 5, same thing. Wow, look at this. Ray tracing, 120 FPS, you know, and on and on and on. Right? So anyway, that's how I feel about it. So I think it's a positive thing. I think it's great.
Well, hey.
And again, it's not just for us. It's for that whole new generation of people that will be adopting the Xbox next generation.
Well, dude, if you had an old car in your garage that you just didn't drive anymore because you bought a new one, and somebody said, hey, dude, I'm going to come over, I'm going to put a new Hemi engine in there for you, and I'm going to give it a brand new paint job. Is that okay? How much is it going to cost? Free? Hell, sign me up, brother. I mean, you know, essentially it's a hobby, but that's what they're doing. Like I said, no extra cost. They don't have to do this stuff, and it's all built out of the hardware. It's unbelievable. So these are just games, like I said, getting hardware enhanced out of the box. Can you imagine the stuff that they are going to optimize? It's just nuts. I mean, I think it's a great consumer move. It's kind of like, it's almost like a big thank you to all the fans that stuck it out, kept their games and stuff like that. Because now, like I said, it's an incentive to go back. I know stores like the GameStops of the world, they must be loving it because they're starting to get more sales from the retro games now than they have in previous years, because people are going back on the back and pats now and buying them up. And don't believe me, go into your store, see how many old games they got kicking around. Not as many as he did a couple years ago, right? So good stuff. Let's head over to the next panel member. Titan, how do you feel about the improvements that the Series X is giving?
Well, they kind of took the what they had previously and then added to it, you know, with the HDR, automatic HDR that wasn't even in games, right, are being added. And that's huge. That's awesome. And I am in this kind of brings up a different topic, but I am at a crossroads because I'm looking to get a new TV, and there's so many like options for next gen that a lot of TVs right now do not have, like this Dolby Vision. That's going to be huge next gen. And if you don't have it on your TV, you don't get the, you know, and have you guys seen the Dolby Vision compare? Oh my God. You got to go. You can just Google that junk right now. It's a crazy difference. But back on the topic, as Mag said, like I'm tired of the cherry picking narratives too. I've destroyed so many people on Twitter with these types of narratives. It's like getting boring at this point because like backwards compatibility like has a spot in gaming, right? Now, depending on what type of gamer you are, really depends on how big of a deal it is. But I guarantee if it's there and it's free, like Mag said, it's free. It's going to be a much bigger piece of gaming moving forward. Like PlayStation cannot compete in this particular subject. In areas that PlayStation cannot compete with Xbox, they're growing by the week, literally.
Read what Custodes X just put in the chat.
Custodes. All right. More people have seen Bigfoot than the PS5. Good point.
Good one, man. Good one. And Mojo, how do you feel about obviously these enhanced old games? I mean, do you still play? Obviously, you told us at the top of the show you play a lot of old games. Are you planning to go back and play any new ones?
Huge back compat guy. I love it. I loved what Xbox One did with the enhancements to these games. And now we're going to get even more enhancements for the Series X. But I want to touch on what Mag said about the whole thing with Sony's back compat. Listen, they actually told us 6 months ago, or it might have been 8 months ago. If you listen closely, what they said was their back compat was going to work on the fact that their chipset for back compat, they had it so that it would run at the same megahertz as PS4 base for games, and then they had another mode that would run the same as PS4 Pro. And when they said that, I was like, well, how are you going to do fucking enhanced games then? And you know what? I don't think they're going to have very many enhanced, because you have to go in and do stuff for that. And I kind of like the way Microsoft doesn't trust third-party companies to go back in and enhance games without wanting to charge. So they just built it in. Bravo. It's a huge consumer-friendly thing. And we were talking about the Mafia games, things like that. I mean, yeah, the Mafia 1 needed to be remastered. Yeah. It really did. But 2 and 3 doesn't need a remaster, first of all. It's the same generation, but that was a wonderful game, and 2 is also really good. But yeah, this is just an amazing thing to get some of these older games, and I love OG Xbox games that get brought over, and all of a sudden they're running at resolutions that they were not originally on the
original game. Yeah, they made the game better than what could actually be displayed at the time. Yeah, and now it made it so they can bring them over. Now it's just a matter of redoing some licenses and stuff. And I'm pretty sure that once they get all these Xbox One games set up and certified to play on the Series X, they're going to go back and you're going to see some more OG Xbox games, as well as a bunch more 360 also. Yeah.
Well, I would definitely like to see any enhancements to the Mass Effect games, because obviously it looks like, based on the latest article I read, looks like that Mass Effect, what was it, the Legacy trilogy or some shit or whatever, that's been pushed to next year. It was supposed to come out in October, but it looks like it'll be pushed to early 2021, according to this article that I read. It said something that they're not satisfied with where the first game is. They want to go back and make that one a lot better, because we all know that Mass Effect 2 and 3 were vastly improved graphically and from a gameplay perspective. So I don't blame them. I think we can wait. We got enough games to play right now, but I wouldn't mind even seeing what those Mass Effect games look and run like on the Series X. Hopefully a better frame rates and stuff as well. So let's give a shout out to the chat, because we got Joe Dunmore in here. We got Alan Savage. We got Prophet, Crispy Bomb, Terrence Tate, Crazy Greek Dude. We got Huge Creature. I think might be his first time checking out the podcast. Thanks for stopping by. Good stuff, guys. Custodes X, Alan Savage, my brother. Red Raven is here. Alex Basher. Good stuff, guys. Awesome. People talking TVs in the chat. Yes, that's half the equation too, guys, is making sure to take advantage of your amazing console. You essentially need some amazing televisions. Yes, you can get 4Ks cheap, but some of those cheap 4Ks, they just they don't hit the bells, baby.
Yeah, they don't have the options. There's like
No.
I've learned a lot about, and I've watched a lot of Stop the FOMO videos on YouTube.
Yeah, I watch his stuff all the time.
He's got some really good informative videos about TV. He talks a lot about next gen consoles and how they work and how they're going to mesh well together and what features you want to look for. It's really good. I really suggest checking that out. But a huge creature in the chat said console people shouldn't care about graphics or anything of the like. I don't know about that. And then he says, it's not like we have options. Build a PC if we want options. And that part is true. Like you build a PC if you want
if
all
we
the
didn't
options.
care about graphics at all, we'd all just own Nintendo Switches and call it a day.
Well, yeah, I don't understand that part of his sentence, but as far as the options go, he's right about that. Like we would build a PC if you want all the options, but console, most of us here are console gamers, and like I feel like Xbox is really doing it. I don't know how they could do it better. They're gonna give you even now with the One X, they give you simple options. They give you they give you a frame rate or a performance mode, right? They give you a performance mode and then like a high resolution mode, and that's really the only options we need right now. Really is, and in next generation, we're not even going to have to worry about that because the Series X is just going to be this monster that's just going to be capable of anything like of anything like a $1,400-$1,500 PC is going to be able to do. So if you want to spend more than $1,500 on a PC or on a graphics card alone that can compete with the Series X, you know what I'm saying? Like that's kind of in a different realm there. But yeah, I'm not. Maybe you could explain more what you meant about the graphics thing, because I don't understand that part.
By the way, you ever want to piss off PC guys? Go to one of their forums and tell them that keyboard and mouse are for doing your taxes, and then just leave. Watch the meltdown from afar. It is remarkable. I do it usually about once a month, and that's it. I just drop that bomb and walk away, and just like, okay, here it comes.
Between them and some of the people that really love and no knock, guys, don't take it the wrong way, but one time I made some remark about anime and holy fuck. Oh man, I tell you, PlayStation guys got nothing on the heat I got from that shit. I was like, holy fuck, calm the fuck down, guys. Like, god damn.
Oh, those dudes are serious, man.
Oh man.
Don't toy with them.
Don't toy with you guys and your fucking little schoolgirl fucking big-eyed fucking goddamn cartoon characters. Jesus.
Tentacle porn or whatever the hell it is. A fucking octopus.
Oh my god. Hey man, to each their fucking own, people, to each their own, right? But oh my god. Yeah, you just some certain communities, man, get triggered very, very quickly. Yeah. But speaking of old games and moving on into another topic before we get to the Ask Arnold segment, this is an old game that was quite popular for a long time. It was one of Double Fine's coolest games. It had featured Jack Black. You guys know him as Brutal Legend, and it comes to Game Pass along with Doom Eternal, Forza 7, and a few other amazing games coming to Game Pass real soon. So, yeah, Adam, I'm talking about you, brother. You got big eyes, man. But yeah, Brutal Legend coming out, and again, an old game, backwards compat now. I never played it, oddly enough. I got a fraud alert here. Never really played it. It looked cool, but I don't know why I passed over on it. So how do you guys feel about the new games coming to obviously the Game Pass and getting a chance to jump back into one of Double Fine's coolest games? And again, I think one of the dark horse studios that Microsoft has that nobody's given enough attention to is Double Fine. I think those guys are just amazing. They're probably one of the most creative studios in Microsoft's arsenal right now, and in their arsenal. That always sounds funny. And but yeah, how do you feel about it? I'll let Mojo take the floor real quick on this one, and then I'll get to the panel.
I wasn't the biggest fan of Brutal Legend. I mean, it was okay. Yeah, that's about all I want to say about it. I'm glad to see it in there, but it got pretty good ratings back at the time when it came out, but I don't know.
Did you agree with the ratings at the time?
No, I thought it was highly overrated. I think they just gave it good scores because Jack Black being in it.
Right.
That could be.
But it was pretty late in that gen. What was that, 2009? Late 2009 when it came out. Yeah. So, but again, I don't know. EA released it and I just didn't think it was great. But again, I had Jack Black in it. That's about the best thing I can say for it.
Yeah, that's fair enough, man. I can't say much more than what you just said because I never played the damn game. I just know it had a really cool art style. Again, it was Double Fine. You got a big name actor. Of course, it had a great soundtrack, some really wacky enemies and stuff. Meg, how about you, man?
Yeah.
Did you ever get into Brutal Legend?
Yeah, I did. I did play it. Yeah, I enjoyed it. There were certain sections that were kind of ridiculous. I think it kind of dove off into that sort of like that tactics sort of thing. Like if you got like a certain area and stuff. But the action adventure part of it was actually really good. I mean, it's not great. It wasn't great. But yes, it did have the attraction of having not only Jack Black, but it also had Lemmy from Motorhead was in there. Right. And then it also had oh my God. Yeah. Ozzy Osbourne was in the game. He was one of the he was like one of the characters.
Yes.
Like you have to go visit him, and all of a sudden he comes out and he's like, "What the fuck are you doing here?" And I was like, "Ozzy!" So yeah, it was pretty cool. I'm surprised it took this long to get to Game Pass, considering they bought Double Fine like a year ago. Or a year, how long ago was it? Like a year and a half? I think it was E3 2019 they announced it.
Do you say that little spot of piss on the floor? If you're not going to drink it, I will.
Yeah. Anybody who's seen The Dirt knows all about it. So yeah, so I mean, it was like I said, it was kind of cool. The tactics thing I wasn't into because I mean, this was what I think Mojo said it was like 2008, 2009. Right. So my taste in gaming at that particular time was certainly not into tactics and that kind of thing. So I was like, this is bullshit. I couldn't figure it out. Right. And then once I figured it out, I'm like, all right. And then I just kind of sludged through it or whatever. But I actually enjoyed the more action-y, adventure-y part of it. And the story was, serviceable at best. But again, it had some cool characters. And I'm surprised that maybe down the road, maybe this is what they're doing. Maybe they're using this as a litmus test to see if a lot of people download it on Game Pass. There's a lot of positive buzz that maybe Double Fine after they're done Psychonauts 2. Maybe they're going to go right ahead and work on a Brutal Legend 2. Like, I mean, why the hell not? What the fuck else is Jack Black doing right now besides growing his sideburns? And dancing in his cowboy boots in his backyard. Like, what else is this guy doing?
He's kind of gone a little bit wacky, isn't he?
Oh, dude, he's got lost his mind ever since the pandemic started. He wears cowboy boots and dances around his backyard, and films himself.
he's growing au naturel over there, ain't he?
And that goddamn beard. I mean, you got to stop with that beard.
He definitely gained some weight too.
Well, what else
it was the creating of that one game, like because his voice is in a game coming out, and I watched that, and he definitely grew that beard out and put some weight on.
I'm not going to revisit it to answer the question, though. I mean, I already played it, so I'm like, all right, cool. It's cool for someone else, but like I said, I think maybe this is a test to see if it gets enough positive buzz generated from it that maybe they'll eyeball doing a Brutal Legend 2. You never know.
You never know. I know. I'm super excited for Psychonauts too. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, that game almost gave me a stroke watching that trailer. I'm sitting there watching it, and after about a minute, I started getting anxiety. I'm going, "What's wrong with me?" And then I'm like, "Oh, it's this insane game. What the hell is going on in that game?"
When Double Fine makes a game, you swear to God, it's like, man, their fucking bonuses for fucking hitting targets must be fucking LSD or some shit, right? Like, here's a little bag of LSD, guys. Go right to it. Hey, look at this, guys. Wow.
Anime Heaven in the chat says that. Anime Heaven in the chat says he goes, Double Fine should do the next Banjo-Kazooie. Yeah, it'll be like Banjo-Kazooie on acid. So I can imagine what that would be like. That'd be kind of fun.
Unemployed Banjo-Kazooie's all raggedy ass looking like, I've been in the forest too long.
Well, if you take enough acid, animals do start talking right away.
Like, I remember pulling my head out of his backpack. Now I'm coming out his ass.
When I retire one day, I'm going to have to do some drugs. I've just heard too many stories. Like, I've never done any drug in my life. No matter how small, how big, I've never done any of that. And like, man, you guys are making me wonder, man. My wife,
just don't.
My wife always.
Are you sure, Titan? I get asked every week what Titan's on.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Let me tell you
It's
something.
called alcohol.
I had a get together in my house. This is years ago, like at least a decade ago, and some people were smoking weed, and I'm like, all right, give me some of that shit. So I smoked like one drag of this weed, and then I'm like, why the fuck do I feel like my head's gonna explode and my eyes turn purple? And the guy's like, oh, dude, it was crack cocaine. And yeah, and you know what I ended up doing? It was in the middle of winter. I ran outside and I stuck my head in the snow and just sat there until someone had to pull me out because I was trying to get rid of the feeling. So Titan, don't do it.
No, I don't plan to. Maybe someday when I retire, when I'm really old. My wife always asks me what my midlife crisis is going to be, and maybe that'll be it someday down the road. Who knows?
And if you're planning to get in steroids, then do it after you've had your kids and your dick has already shrunk.
Yeah, right? Oh man! But back on topic, anyways. Jack Black's voice probably earned that game an extra point or two. Right. I never played it. I'm more interested about when EA Play comes to Game Pass, and thanks to a couple people in the chat, they let me know. They said it's coming on November 10th or 11th, essentially when the Series X comes out. But a question for the chat and panel is this: why is it called EA Play instead of EA Access? Because EA Access is what it's been historically called. So will there be like a difference? Will there be, two separate services where EA Access gets a set of games and, EA Play, which goes into Game Pass, will get a separate set of games? There's a lot of questions to be asked here that,
I think they'll only allow the older games or games that aren't really making big bucks for EA. Like, again, you might get the older sports titles and probably the games that have been out for a while, but you're not going to see EA's like prime real estate games up there day and day. If they're going to sell their own subscription, that's not happening for Microsoft. That's just a way for them to still make some extra coin.
Are they still going to have EA Access? There's a lot that needs to be
they've
asked
already
about
this.
this.
It's the same thing you get if you subscribe to EA Access is EA
it's
Play.
The same thing. Because I have not seen this confirmed yet.
They did confirm today. It's November 10th, though.
Yes,
November 10th.
On the launch day.
So I really want to know. Like, I think I need to ask some people in the community about this. If some details about this. Why are they calling it EA Play? Why the separation of the names? Why there's all kinds of questions I can come up with this.
Even for PC, it's going away from Origin to EA Play for PC. That's just for whatever reason, EA decided not to use Access in the title anymore. I don't know.
So maybe a rebranding of some sort.
Yeah, that's all it is. It's just a rebranding, and it's going to be across the board.
I hope so. I hope it's a rebranding, because I hope there wouldn't be two services like Noof said. Their main, their new titles aren't going to go in day and date, and I agree with that.
Technically, they already was two services, the one for PC and then the one for consoles, and Microsoft, same thing with their service. It's different for PC, and if they ever get on Switch, I think they would have a different curated set of games. So it's just stuff people have to get used to and deal with in this digital age that we live in, and subscription based stuff.
Right. Adding to what Noof said, their games aren't going to go day and date. They don't right now in EA Access.
No, like 6 months down the road, or a year or whatever.
Yeah,
and that kind of sucks, because
they'll add them to the vault. So
why does EA not do that? That drives me crazy.
Well, because they still make some sales. I mean, like when you look into a game like Need for Speed, okay, it's not going to be breaking records, but they might squeeze out 500,000 plus copies. Who knows? And then they put it on EA Access or EA Play, as they call it now. So now they've got.
Go ahead.
Now you've got 15 million people looking at. Well, I'm hearing it's actually even more now. But you could have upwards of 20 million people on Game Pass, let's say, eyeballing this game now. And now every time it gets downloaded, EA gets money for it. It's a no-brainer for them, because a lot of their games aren't really been big-time barn burners, other than the obvious ones like your FIFA, your Madden, and of course, what they had last year, the Star Wars one. I can't believe Fallen Order. Okay, those were all big titles.
Fallen Order was huge for them,
right. And then next year you got Battlefield, but like Battlefield, I'll buy. Like I'm going to buy that day one. Battlefield 6 when it comes out next year, right? But you know that in about a year from now, when it starts dying off, and let's say the player base starts dying off, you throw it on EA Play. Now at that point, you could have 25, 30 million, maybe even more people on Game Pass. Well, guess what? That Battlefield online community stays alive and well. So that's how you do it. And then that's where the microtransactions come into play. People buy skins, people buy guns, whatever, right? People buy hats, whatever they want for their characters.
Right.
Yeah. And this is a no-brainer for them. So, yeah, they would put it down the road. So, I mean, if it's a game that's not like, burning your balls that you need to play right away, then just wait.
I wonder if Microsoft is ever going to release like the deal they made with EA, because I cannot believe they brought this to Game Pass and did not raise the price of Game Pass. I don't know. This time next year, let me get a 1 in the chat and a 1 in the chat if you think the price of Game Pass is going to go up by next year, a 2 if you don't think it's going to go up. Let me know. Let me know your opinion on that.
Microsoft is just pulling the dirty hooker. They're letting you put it in, and when you get up there and get all happy, she goes, gonna charge you.
I think it might be quite a few years before they raise the price. So Netflix went a long time before they raised their price.
That's true. A lot of 1s coming in the chat too. A few 2s here and there.
It's at 15 million, people just don't sit down with a calculator and do the damn math. That's a shit ton of money they're bringing in. It's way more than Sony's ever fucking made in a year. Okay, they put out 2 games, 3 at most a year, $60. Even if they have bangers that sell 10 million, doesn't even come close to what and Microsoft's just starting. 15 million is not what Game Pass has to end up for them. I used to tell people, no, 30 million was that magic number where they were going to rule and dominate gaming. But they're talking now, 50, 60 million subscribers.
Yeah.
100 million is not out of the question, which is, kind of what some of the...
to get xCloud going, that's the thing, right? And that's where their focus is, get that xCloud. And then, anybody's got a mobile phone, or at least a half-decent mobile phone and access to a half-sensible network, there you go, boom. You just got to get that Game Pass, and away you go.
Do you know that 15 million subscribers paying $15 a month is 200, assuming they're all paying $15 a month, okay? Just to put it in perspective, that's $225 million a month.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And that's, that's pretty. Now imagine quadrupling that.
Right. But all right. But then subtract
between that about $12 a month, depending on some people paying the $9.99 and some people doing the full 15.
Yeah.
Well, then you got to subtract the cost of all your studios, their running costs, ongoing costs, this and that, and then you got other things to subtract from that. But
no, of course, but I mean, they wouldn't be doing this if it wasn't financially feasible, right?
Yeah, so other companies have that same cost.
Well,
I want to know,
guys. Look at fucking Netflix, right? Look at Netflix; they're following the same trend, right? Netflix didn't get huge overnight; it took a while. But the fact that Netflix is pretty much it's almost on every device you can think of. You think Netflix would be as big as they were if they were only available on, say, on one type of device? No, you can get Netflix on your smart TVs, on your phone, on your tablets, on your PC. Like, Netflix is almost everywhere, except for Nintendo, which is fucking weird. They won't put one on the Switch. Like, what the hell is up with that? But that in itself, and Netflix has jumped the price up several times, but it's still totally affordable and still totally worth it. And now they're doing all the exclusive content, content that they have to make themselves, because if they don't have that, they're going to lose other stuff to obviously Disney and their competitors. So Microsoft is following suit here, following that same trend, and they know if it works for them, and we've seen some of the financials that Netflix had, and they've had some massive growth in different things. So, Game Pass can work too. But again, the more devices, the better. And when you got PC, console, and then cell phone space covered, man, I'd say you're in pretty good position.
I want to know why Xbox is throwing their livelihood at Game Pass. You name it, marketing, everything going to Game Pass day and day, and they swear by it. Then you've got PlayStation, on the other hand, that says it's not sustainable. Like, I swear to God, PlayStation's a bunch of liars. One in the chat if you agree with me. And that's it. You type anything in the chat if you agree with me from here on out.
Amazon
There is no
I put a 1 first before anybody else.
Amazon already has over 100 million people in Amazon Prime, and you watch their new gaming service. If they don't get enough people paying that $5 a month, they're going to roll it into Prime, and they got 100 million fucking people already there. In fact, I'm shocked they didn't put their gaming service immediately into Prime, and then do what they do with some of their movie channels and television channels, put them behind paywalls. It's Amazon Prime's kind of, as great as it is, it's kind of shitty. I'm always selecting stuff, and it's like, oh, you got to subscribe to that, and I'm like, fuck, I already get Prime. I'm not giving you any more money, but yet you could do that with the gaming and your top tier quadruple A top games. You have to pay a separate subscription for, and then just the more, I don't want to say garbage games, but the double A's and the lesser quality games will be just free to play on Prime, and I see that coming, and I think so does Microsoft, so they know that's their real competition.
I'm still getting ones in the chat.
You know,
if you had to wait on Game Pass to be filled with, say, the big, $200 million budget games, triple A's, you'd probably have 7 or 8 a year. Like, they're going to have a variety of everything. And just because you don't like a game that might have got a rating of 6 or 7 doesn't mean it's not amazing for someone else. So people are going to got to get that whole Netflix got to be filled with everything that's fucking Metacritic certified. You can never you're not going to have a feasible service if that's how it's going to be. They're going to need quick turnaround games. Some of the studios that might be all some of the studios will ever pump out is games that are 1 to 2 years. But I think Microsoft's strategy is to have enough studios, because they said they're not done, is that they will never really have that problem with content because things will constantly sort of come out. So those 5-year games will still take 5 years, but they'll have other studios pumping stuff out. So you're waiting. You won't even see them as long anymore because they will just have a constant flow.
I love those AA games that they pump out every other year.
Lots of people love Grounded right now and Sea of Thieves.
3 years is tops. Any game, the game that takes 5-6 years to make tells me there's some people dicking around at whatever given studio.
That's a good point. And you know what? I always laughed at these narrative creators. We need to come up with a name for them, by the way. The narrative creators. Because I've always laughed at them when they said, Game Pass is
narrators.
It's Game Pass filler. Like do you know how many Game Pass filler games I wish were in Game Pass? Because I buy these $20, $30 games all the time. Yeah,
that's okay.
All the time.
Some of their wives secretly behind their gas go, yeah, he's just my husband filler.
I got over 800 games on my Xbox, and it's like, now a lot of those were games with gold, and a lot of that's garbage, but I don't care. I download them every month. I don't always play them, but I download them.
Game Pass saved me a shitload of money on games that I never would have pulled the trigger on. Like, what was that one with the rats?
Oh,
what the hell is it called?
Damn it! Killing me with that with the little boy.
Yeah. It escapes me now.
And they're waving the fire everywhere.
Yeah, I love that game. Yeah,
I love that
Innocent
game.
or something. Is it?
Someone will come in the chat with it.
Come on, chat.
Yeah.
Chat, say
Plague
Tale.
Yes,
Plague Tale. There you go. All right, Plague Tale. Oh, by the way, speaking of the chat, when you asked Titan, you asked everybody to put 1s or 2s. Shout out at Dreadpool. He put 11 1s.
Speaking of the chat, Red Raven, Custo Zags, what's going on? Alan Savage, Prophet, The Doctor, Crispy Bob, Dreadpool, Joe Dunmore, Phantom Crack, and what's going on, guys? Middle Age Geek. Oh, you're here. You're on the panel.
Oh, I am? That man is a treasure.
Dog it out.
What are you drinking, Noof?
Yeah, no, Stick Figure was in the chat earlier. What's going on, Sticky? Pong Soul, what's going on, guys? Alex Basha, what's happening? Anyway, go back to you guys, and let's try to get this wrap this one up so we can get to our segments here.
Let's wrap it up. I'm done. I'm good to go.
Wrap it before you tap it, baby. Let's go.
Anyone else got to wrap it up before we go on?
No.
All right, now it's time for you guys to think up your amazing questions for Ask Arnold, and then we'll get into a couple more topics here. So anyone in the chat, now's the time. Come up with your questions. I'll leave the panel. I'm sure always has some crazy shit to ask Mr. Ernie.
Real quick before we get into your topic, did we get into the Bethesda a week later topic? Did we?
We'll do it right after this.
Okay. We talked about it. Did we do it?
Dude.
Am I that buzzed? Like,
no, we've been just kind of going off a little bit here, but that's all good. Stick figure, born distracted, Jay Swoles 510. I guess it's Jay Swoles. I'm going to call you Jay Swoles only because it sounds cooler. So, alrighty. Well, Infinite, it's got a question. He says, Arnold, are you a subscriber to Game Pass? Of course, I'm going to subscribe to the Game Pass. You don't have to be a complete moron not to go out there and get the subscription to Game Pass, because there's so many great games that you can go out there and you can have and install on your Xbox, and you can play them whenever you want, however long you want, and it's going to save you a lot of money. Don't listen to guys like Noof Nukem. The guy is he's so archaic that I swear to God, if the next time he buys a PlayStation 5 and blows on his controller, the dust will be flying out of his hair. I mean, that's Nukem. Don't listen to Noof. He doesn't know what he's talking about, but I am here to set the record straight. Get the Game Pass. Go, do it. Get to it. Make sure you subscribe. Tell Microsoft to send you to the house.
Can I do the next one from Crispy Bob?
Go right ahead.
Arnie, how many licks does it take to get to a pony pop?
How many licks does it take to get to the pony pop? It only takes about 2 licks to get to the pony pop. You got to warm it up, and then you just go to it. You just suck it down.
oh, God, we went there.
We got Doggy Dog. Arnold, what's the stupidest damage control you've heard from a PlayStation fanboy? One that always drives me absolutely crazy is like, Xbox got no games. What the fuck are you talking about? They only got thousands of games. Now you got so many games on Game Pass. That's like saying Arnold Schwarzenegger got no movies. What the fuck are you talking about? They got lots of movies. They got lots of games. More muscle. I mean, what do you want from them? This is the question. I want to ask you, what do you want from Xbox? They're giving you everything that you ever wanted. You got race games, you got fighting games, you got RPGs. They even bought Bethesda, for crying out loud. I mean, what the more do you want out of these guys? They're giving you everything, and yet some guys just can't get a tool to the skull that these amazing company that's really there for the players. There you go.
Excellent.
Noof, the type of guy to buy Game Pass to try to play it on PlayStation. Not likely, man. Not likely. Anybody else have a question?
No, I'm still laughing about the Crispy Bomb one.
Crispy asking the hard questions. Oh, what's it? Arnold, do you still what? Hey Arnold, have you gotten a Hummer in your Hummer? Oh, that is a great question. I still have my Hummer, and I love it. I love hot days in California when I roll up the windows and I let go a big stinker, and then I watch everybody in the back. They're just the eyeballs are rolling, and I'm like, I've got you good. I've got you good. You can't get out. You're not going anywhere. I'm going to smother you with my farts. You're going to smell them. You're going to enjoy.
Arnie, is your CPU more advanced than the 3080 or 3090 or whatever it is?
Of course, my CPU comes from the future. It is always future proof. It is always updating. It is self-aware. It is like Skynet. You cannot compete with what I have. What's game of the year? Interesting. Oh, there's a great choice. Honestly, it's very hard. There's been a lot of great games again this year, and I think one of the greatest games that's going to come out this year is not even out yet, and it's called Cyberpunk 2077. I really want to play that game. I mean, I've heard everything. I've heard about the great graphics and the driving controls, and it's first-person shooter now, and it's still an RPG. And, of course, how can you not want the game when you can go in and you can adjust the size of your dong? That's worth the price of admission. Let's do it. Slide your dong slider. Good. Let's go. Let's get the dong slider. All right.
I was taking a sip of water when you almost spit on the mic.
All right, guys.
It's worth the price of admission.
That's all the questions we're going to take for Arnold. We're going to get over to some more topics. We'll let our guest kick right in quickly to get his take on the whole thing. And I don't want to just, we've kind of talked about it to death. I just want to know how people feel about this now a week later. The dust has settled. We've seen media go in on it. We've seen podcasters continuously go in on it. We've seen Microsoft respond to it. And that is the acquisition of ZeniMax and Bethesda, obviously being the big studio in there. Mojo, I mean, what's your take on it now? A week later, how do you feel about this deal? What do you think it really means for Microsoft in the long haul? All that stuff.
No, it was brilliant. It was brilliant because over the entire length of this upcoming generation, they're going to have massive games come out that's going to be on Xbox only. If anybody thinks that any of these games besides what's already signed to be on it's coming to PlayStation, that's foolish. They're not. None of them are, other than the two that they already got inked deals for with the 1-year exclusives, and then the the 2 MMO games that are already out on PlayStation. They'll stay, and that's fine. But they're not getting the next Skyrim. They're not getting and that's a question for the other panel members. I asked this on another podcast and nobody could answer it. Is there going to ever be a Skyrim 2, or is Elder Scrolls 6?
Elder Scrolls 6. Skyrim is its own self-entitled entity. Like all of the.
It was actually the Elder Scrolls 5. Skyrim was the real title.
Yes. So it's just going to be an Elder Scrolls 6.
But every Elder Scroll game is set in a different place with sort of different storylines. They're not continual.
Then you get into Elder Scrolls Online though, and they revisit places like Morrowind.
Right, they do, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, they will. But
I'd like to see a Skyrim 2 as well as Elder Scrolls 6, but
as far as I know, there's an entire Elder Scrolls world, and essentially every game. Well, one game's been to Morrowind, one game's been. They essentially tackle different areas of the world.
Yeah. And the reason why I think they didn't give it a subtitle, so to speak, they just called it Elder Scrolls 6 when they first announced it, is because I think it was so early in development that they didn't have a title. And I mean, maybe they did, but they just didn't want to release the title, right? So, because they talked about it and they said, "Oh, when's it coming? When's it coming?" And they said, they're like, "Oh, years."
Yeah, for a long time.
Yeah, like they said years, and then I think they updated it like a year later, and they're like, "It'll be ready when it's ready."
Right.
So, it is what it is. But and I don't think they're going to push them. I think I'm still thinking 2023 sounds reasonable to me.
At the earliest, I would say.
Yeah, and that gives them another 3 years. But now they got that Microsoft fuck you money, right?
Let's not forget though that Bethesda is notorious for coming out on their E3 stages and going like, "Hey, we've got this game for you." Boom. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's right. Noob's got a point, man. They did that before.
They did that with Fallout
4 months
they
later.
Did that with Fallout 76. Like it was like, boom, here's this game. Boom, here's this game. Even Doom Eternal came a lot quicker than people were expected. Like, hey, we got Doom. No, Jesus, didn't Doom just come out? And they're like, yeah, here's Doom Eternal for you.
Well, it's gonna be interesting to see that Microsoft money come in, and if they add anyone to the development roster of that studio, because the people that are supposed to be working on Elder Scrolls 6, I know, are working on Starfield right now. So, you got to finish that game still. That game's still in development. When are we going to get that game?
Don't forget the pandemic is still, no matter how much money you have, okay? Microsoft can have all the money in the world, but the pandemic is still slowing things down. Right, no one's really going into the offices. They're not sitting there in those huge rooms full of developers. Everybody's standing around talking, discussing ideas, creative meetings in rooms and stuff. Those are not happening. It's all happening on Zoom, and it's not the same. So you lose that creative edge, and therefore it kind of hampers the development process, right? So, and that's affecting all businesses. So I think it'll still slow it down a little bit. So maybe buy them another year. 2023, 24, maybe even. So who the hell knows? I mean,
pisses me off with this whole pandemic thing. Oh,
yeah.
Why are game studios having to do shit at home? I worked for a big major soda manufacturer, and they never slowed down, never shut down, and soda necessary for. I get it. You got to have food, so they had to keep certain things going, but beer places still cranking it out, soda, and certain businesses are allowed to go on, but movies, actors, and stuff, like they're better than the rest of us. Well, I guess because they are paid a lot more.
But hey, fiddly diddly, you gotta have your soda pop, right? Because the missus, my God, man, she ain't drinking her soda pop. that means she gonna get skinny. And goddamn it, I got no time for them skinny bitches, okay? I likes to get on top and feel like I'm on top of the water bed. You know what I'm saying? Like I like to climb in the mountains. I don't like getting down in the bony ass areas. You know what I'm saying? Like I like a little cushion for the pushing. You know what I'm saying? Feels like you got a hog ready to go right to her, boy. Let's go.
These guys are well paid. Slap a mask on them and a face shield, and they get their ass into the building and start making games for us.
Yeah. It might just be a Microsoft. It might be a mandate from Microsoft, as opposed to like it's not like the government's telling them to do it. Because like same thing here. Like I work in a retirement home, and
been working in the office. I guarantee it.
Day one
home.
Day one, when this whole thing started, the whole world shut down, at least up here in Canada anyway. We shut down completely. We were still going to work right next to each other. I mean, we wore masks, and we still wear masks every day, 9 hours a day. We have to wear a mask. But we were still working shoulder to shoulder with everybody. So, if you put cubicles and space them out, I could see that not being an issue. But I don't know. We'll see.
They say game designers don't wash their hands. That's why a lot of the male ones eat cheese and they got orange penises.
Oh boy.
There you go.
Titan, what'd you go mute? What's going on?
I'm listening to you guys.
Oh.
Like fucking idiots.
Yeah, we're not even supposed to talk about virus shit on YouTube. So let's stop.
We've said worse things tonight. Don't worry.
Oh man. This is Gaming After Dark, people. If you want PG crap fucking podcasting, there's about a billion other places you can go. I don't mean that in a bad way, but when you come to this show, any shit can happen. It's off the table. If I get shut down, they pull the plug on my shit. Well, too bad, man. You're gonna miss some funny fucking people.
And you know what? And it's funny that you ask me, like, because I find myself getting stuck just listening to you guys, like because, and I'm a panel member, and I'm just like, wow, that's a really good point, or God damn, like you guys constantly blow my mind with like our like this is the most.
That's the only thing we're blowing, by the way. So just take it easy over there.
Right. So, like if you guys are like, this is the most charismatic panel that there is. Go ahead and introduce me to a more charismatic panel because I would love to see it. All right. Just get that real quick out of the way.
All right. Where were we, guys? I think we got sidetracked.
Yeah.
We went off road.
We go off road many times,
yeah,
but
we're just staring at the wilderness now.
Well, I definitely haven't had my go at this yet.
Okay, well, have at her. Have at her. Go. I'm going to keep mine part real quick, but you go at her.
All righty, I'll go at her. So Bethesda a week later, right, or 2 weeks, whatever it is. So now that we've got the info, and this is like, we've all soaked it in. The ponies have tried to come up with their narratives, etc. They failed. The confirmations are now like coming in that the Bethesda studios are going to be exclusive. And personally, like, this kind of took me by surprise. I don't know about you guys. I was thinking maybe a little less exclusivity when it came to these major titles, but it does not look like Xbox is going that road. They have already confirmed that Starfield is going to be exclusive to Xbox and PC. So like ponies right now, like it's like, like they're eating their words like crazy right now. Like Xbox has no games. Xbox has no exclusives. Well, there's no debating either of those right now because we've got people begging Xbox to release these games on PlayStation. We've got people going as far as saying Microsoft has a monopoly. A monopoly? We just lost the last gen in consoles sold. What the hell? What? Like, you can't make it up. I swear to God. There's no talking to these people. They do not rationalize. They have no rational thinking towards anything gaming. And that's what drives me crazy. These people are just coming up with narratives, like anything off the top of their goddamn heads, and are running with it. True or false, they don't give a damn. They just want their goddamn PlayStation to be put in the limelight for a change when that's not happening. It's just not. Like, again, since 2017, it hasn't happened. Yes, there have been little positives in the PlayStation, but I would say it's at a 90% to 10% ratio. That 90% of PlayStation information has been negative. Okay, come on, guys! Like you don't see that you're reaching. It's time to buy an Xbox. Okay, it's time to change your mindset. It's time for these people that just hate Microsoft for no goddamn reason. It's time to realize that, hey, why, come to the self-realization. Why can't we come to that point where it's like, ask yourself, why do I hate Microsoft right now? They're pro-consumer as fuck. They've got all these great games. They've got all these, and they're offering to me, $10 a fucking month. A fucking month. Like, what do you got to complain about?
Because there's no drugs, eh?
Hey, people praise.
Imagine me on drugs right now.
My God, Titan was on fucking. Well, I know, but the weed would probably subdue him, and Titan would be a fraction of himself. Be like, "Hey, bring in the common, make the sense." Oh man, great stuff, great points, man. And I definitely got to bounce off yours in a minute. Meg, did you get a chance to kind of weigh in on this one?
No, I'll be very brief.
Yeah, go ahead, man. Bro.
I did originally when I first thought about it. I thought for sure they weren't going to put anything exclusive, and I'm like, nah, they'll just keep it multi-plat and whatever, and they'll become like a publisher, like an EA for those specific games, those specific studios. And then after about a week, when I started listening to other people talking, and I listened to some other podcasts, and then I realized, I'm like, wait a minute, I'm wrong. So I have to bend the knee on that. And I realize 100% you do not invest $7.5 billion to give the games to somebody else. They're doing it to invest in themselves. They said it a year ago to their actual investors in the company. They said, be prepared for major investments. I just said investment 5 times in one sentence, by the way. So anyways, they told them to be prepared for major investments in the near future, which of course, this is what they're talking about. And of course, there's other things that, that are kind of flying in the wind right now, but we won't discuss that. So they're going to keep it for themselves. And, if there's any company that could absorb that kind of money, it's Microsoft. $7.5 billion, everybody be like, oh, they got to put it everywhere to make that money back. Microsoft is not desperate to make that money back right away. They can sit on it.
I'm going to be honest. I was one of those people at first too.
Yeah, me too, man.
I'm not used to dealing with this much money, and I'm not privy to how much money goes in and out of Microsoft on a day-to-day basis. But still, it's like, I just look at it from the console space, right? We know, like we stated earlier, how much money per month Game Pass is bringing in. Alone, right? Granted, there's plenty of other places they're getting money, but just Game Pass alone, all right? It's going to take them a long time to make that money back on Game Pass alone, right? $7.5 billion. That's crazy. Go ahead.
Again, this is Microsoft we're talking about. And it's not just Game Pass that they're making the money off of. They're making money off of software, digital sales, physical sales, all kinds.
Let me stop you right there, though. Let me stop you right there. So you're right. You're not wrong. You're saying, Microsoft, this giant corporation, one of the biggest in the world. They can eat that money, but when does it come to the point? Because apparently it came to that point in 2013, right? Just looking at history, when you got the wrong people leading Xbox. You got Don Matrick over there, calling the shots, and the way things looked back then compared to the way things look right now.
Yeah.
How does Satya Nadella absolutely do this 180?
Under his leadership.
Wait.
Yeah.
And to add to that, so how does he make this 180? And then, all right, so when is the Microsoft Games Studio, right? The games division, Microsoft Game, because they got to make this investment back sometime. Are they seriously? Do they not give a goddamn about $7.5 billion
for years?
So much, to the fact that they don't care about it until they don't care if they make their investment back in 10 years from now.
Yeah, because they can sit on it.
It's just crazy to me. You might be right. It's just crazy to me.
It will only take 3 years to earn all that fucking money back.
Look, look seriously.
3
Look,
years.
they made their money back in no time just on the Minecraft deal alone, right? So they're not worried.
No,
7.5 billion is a drop in the bucket for Microsoft, who's $1 trillion corporation. 7-point-something billion is a lot of money for most companies. For them, it's a small investment. It's an investment as well that they wouldn't make if they weren't 100% certain they wouldn't get it back. Look,
my thing is, tell me what changed from 2013 till now. You're telling me that Phil Spencer,
because he wasn't in charge in 2013.
That's right.
Right. And now, by the way, if anybody looks, ever since Nadella took over, their profits have grown exponentially.
Yes, the whole division's gone up.
The whole company's gone through the roof, and I believe it's 1.6 trillion. I don't want to be the one who say the numbers because I don't want to fuck it up, and someone in the chat's gonna be like, "Meh." But anyway,
the only number that kind of went down was the actual console sales numbers, right?
Yeah, but their profit went up.
But their profits went. They were selling more games, and anybody knows that traditionally, I think there's enough articles out there to show it that the adoption for games on Xbox is usually higher than it is for PlayStation. Xbox people generally buy more games. I think that's been proven many a times. You know what I mean? Over and over and over again. That's I'm not saying it's large. Like for example, if you sell 5 consoles and you sell 3 games through 5 consoles, isn't that better than if you sell 10 consoles, you only sold 4 games? That's what I'm saying. It's the ratio, right? Well, you know what I'm saying? Like, even if Sony sells more games, but they have a lot more consoles, it's that ratio. It's the higher adoption ratio. Look, and the bottom, look, Phil had to swing some major balls at some point because Xbox division, people want to admit it or not, was in kind of trouble. I mean, if you look at the direction they're in now compared to where they were after like 2014, 2015, when Don Matrick was kind of still rolling, it's almost a 360. They wanted to get out of this fucking generation.
Well, it's a 180 is what it is. It's a 180.
Yeah, 180. But they wanted to get out of this generation as fast as they could. One, they realized right from the get-go that they didn't have the hardware that they needed to be, and that's why they came up with the Xbox, the One S, and then the One X, because that wasn't we're gonna try to turn the fortunes around and we're gonna sell like 1 billion consoles. They came up with those more to restore faith with the hardcore Xbox fan that Microsoft could deliver hardware that was efficient, was quiet, affordable, and gave you the kind of performance that you always wanted. Because what did we hear for the first 2 or 3 years of the gen? Xbox can't do 1080. It was all about the power. Yeah, I know the Xbox guys now were all about the power too. So it's the shoes on the other foot, and it sucks either way, right? There's a lot of power narrative here too. And at the end of the day, it is all about the games. But the point is, it was all about the power. Microsoft took a big slap in the face. They've been taking a lot of slaps. They've been getting insulted a lot of times. And it started right from that fucking time when was this, Yoshida or whatever, handed the game over to Greg Boyes and said, this is how we share. Right from that moment on forward, it's all about those little slaps. And if you notice the last 6 or 7 months in particular, Xbox has been doing a lot of subtle, like, slapping of their own now. Like, even like lately with the Shock Blue controller. Like little things that they're doing, kind of like, and how they're, Aaron Greenberg's even taking. Of course, Aaron Greenberg says that. Of course, the pitchforks come out from, you shouldn't say this kind of. Look, the guy's proud of certain things in the brand, and when he says stuff about the Xbox One X or the Series X, it's usually true. It's not a made up spec. He's not like gloating about something that isn't true. These are the facts. Like, and I'm just going to say with the Bethesda deal, as simple as this: it's a win-win either which way for Xbox. Okay, here's the deal. Because even if they put the games on PlayStation, right? I'd say 8 out of every 10 PlayStation fan, if you're a fan of Bethesda, you're going to fucking buy the game. But guess what? You're going to pay $70. Maybe Microsoft ups the price. So they're going to get your money one way or the other. They're going to get your money. And if you're, and otherwise, and if you're not, guess what? You're going to be forced to get Game Pass either through xCloud. If you want to play those games, you got to get xCloud or you got to get Game Pass, which, and you can go and say, because this is the one that drives me. Oh, well, I just get on a PC because I got this really fucking high-end PC. And I hear that every fucking time. Well, okay, so if you got a PC that can play these games, well, then get the Game Pass and shut the fuck up. Because obviously, you don't plan on buying an Xbox, right? So what's the problem? What is your problem? If you're always going to play it on PC, okay, so there is no problem. You got that PC, don't you? This high-end fucking $1,500 PC that runs circles around all the Xbox consoles. Do you see my point? So, no, I call bullshit on these. Supposedly I got a PC to game everything. The bottom line is, if you want to play this game now, you need to get a fucking Xbox. You know what? I suck it up. I prefer Xbox over PlayStation, but guess what? If PlayStation has good games, and they fucking do, I buy the goddamn console. It's not that fucking hard.
And you sell your Xbox to get that damn
and
console.
I'll sell an Xbox or a fucking Switch and get the console. I might sell it 4 or 5 times, but the bottom line is I'm not that much of a fanboy. This is the thing. The fanboys call us the fanboys. But yeah, they're the stubborn motherfuckers that will not spend a dime because they can't get over Xbox. What I don't know if Xbox like slammed your grandmother back in the day and you're still pissed about it because you got little fucking trolls running around in your house or something. Like, what is the fucking deal? You know?
Yep.
Right?
It's online justification. That's all it is.
You know, is Satya Nadella coming over to your fucking house insulting you or something? Well, like, what is the fucking deal? Right? Why is Xbox a curse word? Like, Xbox. Like, just buy the console. Shut the fuck up. If you only play one game on it, guess what? Great. I know lots of Xbox guys who bought a PlayStation for, guess what? 2 or 3 games, and that's it. And they play everything else next. But I don't hear them bitching. Oh, I got a fucking PlayStation. I don't know why I bought that piece of shit. I fucking love Uncharted. I love fucking The Last of Us. But I bought a piece of shit. I don't hear that shit. You know what I'm saying? So stop the fucking narrative, guys. It's so fucking old. Just get over it. Play games where you want. Nintendo's not bringing shit to anybody else. They're going to make the weakest ass fucking most antiquated goddamn consoles for the next 40 fucking years. And you're still going to go out and buy it. Hell, I'm stupid enough. I bought that Mario collection the other day. I'm like, I bought the same fucking
I told you
games
not to.
that I bought years ago. They're not even updated at all. They charge you 80 fucking bucks on top of it. Do you see what I'm saying? Like,
Well,
yeah,
you're part of the goddamn problem now. At this point, you're part of the problem.
Sometimes I'm part of the fucking problem. I get that. And I'll fucking fully fucking admit it. You know what I'm saying? But like, just buy it. Shut up. It's just like, I don't know what people make such a fuss over it. They make videos upon videos upon videos. Buy it. Play the games. Love it. You know what? Maybe try Xbox for the first fucking time in your life. It's like try pussy for the first time. Maybe you'll fucking like it. Okay? You know? So, oh my God, guys. Really?
Oh, man,
All right, I'm done.
I love it.
Either which way Microsoft fucking wins because they're either going to get your money in Game Pass or they're going to force you to buy a console or you can play it on PC. And guess what? You're still playing Xbox. Okay? They're going to get your damn money. And if you don't, guess what? You can go and make your 150th video about how Xbox sucks. Xbox got no games. And God damn it, I can't play Doom on my PlayStation. I can't play Elder Scrolls. Oh, what am I going to fucking do? I got to make another video. I got to sound like such and such. I gotta be a fucking asswipe, and Jesus.
And this is the checkmate I've been talking about since 2017. Like I've seen this for so long. Like they've been setting this all up. If you're just not, if you don't believe it, that's fine. But if you've just been not not believing what Dealer and what I've been saying, what Cold's been saying, what RDX and all these other Xbox guys have been saying, like. We could see where this is all going, and this is going in Xbox's favor. And yeah, these people said Xbox has no games, like all these little dumb narratives along the line that are just getting squashed and squashed and squashed.
You know, the thing is, sorry, go ahead, brother.
No, go ahead. I just at this point, it's silly. Go ahead.
Now, the only thing I was going to say is that this generation specifically coming up, they're giving you almost every single option to be able to adopt the platform without having to spend $500, $600, $700.
Right. Yeah.
Right? They're giving you so many fucking options. Like you can, okay, you can get the big boy for $500 US.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And you can get and eventually when the Series S is more available, then you can get the $299 one, or you could just pay $15 and play on your phone or play on your tablet. Same thing. It's like same as buying a Switch, except you don't have to pay for the damn Switch. You're just paying $15 a month. They're giving you or also on your PC, which by the way, the PC, they're just playing on my PC. The PC guys, if you actually look at the sales numbers versus how many users are out there in the PC, the people that actually have capable PCs that would be not even as powerful as, or just more powerful than the Xbox One X is less than 9%. So apparently that 9% is all I see, right? They're the only people I talk to because the other 91%, apparently they don't talk online. So anyways, the point is they've given you every option in the world to be able to adopt their ecosystem. So there's no excuse anymore. So what's happening is that people are frustrated because they've been saying, they've been running with this narrative, whatever else. Now they look like fools. Okay, now they feel like fools, but now what they're doing, they're overreacting in order to save face. And that's what you're seeing online. So people are overreacting because they're trying to mask the fact that they've been saying whatever they're saying. So if you go over the top, then people will ignore what you did before because they're like, wow, look at this buffoon. It's like, you know, when you're trying to get a kid's attention, a baby's attention, when you're taking a picture and you're standing behind the camera, shaking your car keys, going, look over here, little Jimmy. Okay, that's what.
By the way, I figured out what happened, guys. I finally figured it out. I clued it all in. You know what happened to some of these really salty PlayStation fanboys? Apparently, they found out through a fucking test that they're Bill Gates' kids, and unfortunately, he gave them no money. All he ended up giving them was a copy of Windows Office.
you know, Noof, you brought it up like a couple of minutes ago, and you're, by the way, very impressive rant. I was very pleased. When I wanted to play God of War, I had to go buy PS4. Mm-hmm. Okay. You know, when I got the PS3 is because I got Uncharted. And then of course I adopted the other games as I went along or whatever, and I love them. That's great. But I went and I did it and I didn't complain about it. You know, like what the fuck? Yeah. Just like you can't expect it. You know what it is? It's entitlement. That's all the end of the day is because these guys have been on top. They're used to being, the belle of the ball.
Yes.
Okay, for the last 7 years. And then all of a sudden, you're not the belle of the ball anymore. Sony is, I don't give a shit what anybody says. And by the way, nobody challenged me on it. I probably own more Sony fucking games than most people that are quote unquote Sony fans. Okay. And I've been there since day one. PS1. I was there day one lined up. $1,000.
I've owned more PS4s this gen than most of the so-called fans are ever going to own.
Exactly. Exactly. No lie. So the point of the story is that I didn't complain about any of those things. I just went and did it. So like I said, they've been the belle of the ball. So now all of a sudden they're not the belle of the ball. Sony is completely shitting the bed this fall. I don't care what anybody fucking says. Okay. I'm just calling a spade a spade. They're shitting the bed. And now they're embarrassed. And now they're like, well, what? So what? You get those games? And I don't want to, like I said, I don't want to get all fanboy, and I know I kind of am right now.
It's hard not to.
It's hard not to.
It's hard to common sense and kind of not.
Yeah,
but Titan is just simple common sense we're talking here. Because if Sony was able to buy those studios, no one would have said fuck all.
Yeah.
Okay, no one would have said a word. They would have been like, oh, great, they just won the generation.
Yeah.
But instead, they're getting all salty. But you know what though? Ignore them. And you know why you ignore them? Because at the end of the day, after all their bitching, all their complaining, all their whatever, little Jimmy's going to have a fucking Series S sitting under his Christmas tree, and he's going to shut the fuck up and he's going to play Elder Scrolls 6 and not tell anybody.
And here's something I cannot ignore. Let's get over to the super chat because we got our first big one of the night. Mr. OG White, he comes in dropping. Is he like related to Walter White from Breaking Bad? Mr. OG White, he drops $24.99 into super chat. He says, between you guys and RDX preaching the gospel of Xbox and letting people know facts, these PlayStation ponies don't stand a chance. Well, thank you for the amazing super chat, Mr. OG White. Welcome to the podcast, and to everybody that is a first timer checking out this show. We're hope that you're enjoying it because we certainly enjoy being here, making you smile, making you laugh. And again, guys, it's all in good fun. Sometimes, we do get on some rants, but sometimes they're warranted too, right? It is what it is. Alrighty, back to you guys. Any more final thoughts before we get to the next generation?
Yeah, I got one thing on it. This
Go ahead, brother.
Generation that everybody wants to act like Microsoft failed at. They sold 50+ million fucking consoles. That makes it a top 10 console of all fucking time. All right. So what? Sony sold 120 million month to month, period to period, quarter to quarter. Microsoft's profits were through the fucking roof, and they've already said it was way more successful than even the 360 was.
And the difference between a fan
80-something million, but yet the Xbox One brought them in more profit, and that's what they care about, profit. And now that they've went full in on Game Pass and this Netflix kind of as a service deal, the money, that's going to be insane. And when they're not joking when they say they don't give a fuck how many consoles they sell, which is not really true. They still have to sell consoles because that's what gets games developers making the games, and then they can push them down so they'll work and play on a fucking phone or a tablet or whatever. But they know the big money is with this games as a. When I say games as a service, I'm not talking about an individual game. I'm talking about their whole platform as a service. That's where the money is, and they're so far ahead of anybody else on this. It's just,
freaking Amazon steps their foot in the ring, right? And it's like, what? Like, are you serious?
Yeah, I talked about it earlier. Amazon has over 100 million people already subscribing to Prime, and as soon as they roll their Luna into Prime, and it's gonna happen. I can guarantee it. At some point, if you get Prime, you're gonna get some form of Luna, and that's a big 100 million people already there. And Microsoft's known this. It's like Amazon didn't just suddenly plan this out. They've hired certain industry people over the last couple of years. And they actually own 2-3 studios already. In fact, they bought the studio that made Killer Instinct for Microsoft. Amazon sucked them up long ago. Yeah. They've not done anything as far as I know yet for them, but they've been working.
It's all about logistics, people. It's all about logistics, because if you are in more countries, there's a guarantee you're going to sell more consoles. If I was in more women in different countries, guaranteed to be more little Nukem's running around. Okay, it's just logic. And God knows you wouldn't want that. Little kids running their house like, boom, kaboom, Dad, I'm in the fucking room. Get the fuck out, kid. Get out, kid. I got some business with the mother. I'm about to get your sister, okay? Shut the fuck up and get out. All right. Random Cracker, what's going on? Free Jack in the house. Free Jack, what's up, brother? All righty. Let's get into our next segment there, guys, because we got a couple more light topics before we close out the show. So it is Titan Ease Up with his segment.
All right, this is called In the Next Generation, everybody. So if you remember those of you that haven't seen it, we got some new viewers here tonight. So if you haven't listened to the show before, this is kind of my my gaming version of Conan O'Brien's old skit in the year 2000. So if you remember that, this will ring some bells for you. So here we go. In the next generation. In the next generation, if you pre-ordered the PS5, you will eventually get it. Just not when you expect. In the next generation! In the next generation, Xbox Game Pass is renamed to Xbox Got No Games Pass. See? Even I got jokes for the Sony guys out there as well. See? In the next generation. In the next generation, Titan Drago makes a decent next generation joke. In the next generation. In the next generation, I will have to come up for a new title for this skit. And that's all I have for today. I'll see you guys next week when we're one step closer to the next generation.
Nice. Xbox will have to do little shit emojis with different hats on them or something, right? There you go. No games. Oh, great stuff, guys. The next generation with Titan Drago will be back in here at the same time, same place next week. Yes, the doctor. What's going on? Yes, we got some bravos. Indeed. I like that. Right into Earth, says Crispy Bomb. And Terrence State, baby, he says, God, I love this channel. Well, Terrence, we love you too, brother. Thanks for being here and enjoying the show. Xbox got no game pass. Yeah, that's funny. I like that. Alrighty, a couple more topics before we kind of roll out of here for tonight. We're at 9:40 here right now. That is Mountain Time. Let's talk about one that I had on the agenda here, and and I don't want this to kind of go off wonky here. Just honest opinion. We're starting to see some articles now that it looks like potentially Sony running into some pre-order troubles where Titan, I think you brought in the article. So maybe if you want to start off and kind of let us know what is actually going on here.
Of course, it's pretty straightforward. So, I mean, the yields are bad. We've been talking about this for months. Yields are bad. They're getting about 50% of the consoles that are produced, they're actually ship worthy. So it's sure looking like what PlayStation did was, all right, they said they're just gonna, I don't know how they screwed this up this badly, to tell you the truth. So they put out all these pre-orders. They got bought up, right? Pre-orders sold out. And now it's coming and more and more. First we saw it with Amazon, and it was like, when we first saw it with Amazon, it was like right away. Amazon sent out all these messages to people saying, you might not get your PlayStation 5 on the first day. And when I read that, I was like, all right, well, they're a delivery company and I worked for the post office. So maybe there's so many of these going out that they can't get them all sent out in one day, right? They may come the next day. That's what I was first initially thinking about when I saw that. But now more and more companies, and I think this one came for, what was it, Ireland, or it was Ireland or something like that. Mm-hmm. I'd have to look at it, but it somewhere over there across seas, somewhere over there. It's come. GameStop is now sending out these warnings, and more companies are sending out these warnings that, hey, it might be till 2021 until you get your PlayStation 5 that you pre-ordered. So just that right there, right? That fact alone right there, that more and more of these companies are coming out and saying this, and it's not just Amazon. It's really like it's astounding at this point, because they obviously said, all right, we have this many consoles, and you guys can say, you guys can pre-order this many, and that number had to be wrong, because there's no way that all these people would be coming out and saying this. And it's quite obvious that besides and besides the all digital version of the PlayStation being less than 2% of the population of the consoles or something like that. It was like a 0.2%. It was like a 998-to-2 ratio that the $500 console got produced to the all digital version. So those things are like rainbow unicorn. So if you get an all digital PlayStation 5, keep that thing, because that thing is more rare than a freaking rainbow unicorn right now. Okay. But besides that, like, that's essentially where we're at right now. PlayStation told people that they have this many pre-orders, and they're not equipped to meet that demand. And I believe it's 5 million consoles or somewhere around there. So what do you think in there, Noof?
I'll let one of the other guys have a shot at it first before I chime in.
On this one.
Yeah, go ahead, Mojo.
Yield shortage. Okay, first of all, it's not really the consoles; it's just the SOCs, the system on a chip, which is the heart. So it's both your
right
graphics and your main processor.
Yes.
But here's the thing: the company that makes those is TSMC. All right, and they test these chips before they ever go on a console, and that's where they're finding them bad. And believe it or not, a good yield is only about 75%. If you get above 75, if you're hitting 80-85% yields, fuck, that's smoking for these chips. So 50 isn't nearly as bad as that sounded. But you go all the way back to early in the year when they realized their initial design ran too fucking hot. That's why they had to make the gigantic box with the stupid wings. And that kind of delayed them, all right, because they wasn't prepared for the extra cooling stuff they had to do. And it's been a series of chain reactions, starting from, oh crap, our console overheats, so now we got to make it bigger, more airflow, redesign, even though they were way ahead of Xbox,
liquid metal cooling. Yep.
Now it's just flipped. Microsoft's now way ahead of them, which shouldn't be the case at all. But again, these yields, I don't want to lessen the fact at 50%, because that's costing Sony a shit ton of money. And that's why they went to $70 games, because they were like, no, we're still going to have to sell this console, the digital one, at $400, and they'll go $500 with the disc one. But they're losing some money on that digital one.
But they create them at such a low percentage, right?
Exactly.
That it doesn't even matter. That's not even it's not even on the radar for them anymore.
But again, this yield problem, we got to make this money back, so we're going to stick it to our customers. They jumped to that 70, and luckily they had Activision, and who was the other one that jumped to 70 already? There's been two companies said their games are going to be 70, but there was already other companies doing it before Sony did it. Thank God. I hope Microsoft holds out and don't just, oh, everybody else is doing it, we're going to do it. I hope they're like this entire fucking gen, their games are $10 cheaper. It'll be sweet, but we'll see. But anyway, that yield thing has set things back. And then there is the COVID factor too, because transportation, it just takes longer, and especially if you're putting something on a boat. That stuff's taking longer. They should have had that stuff rolling off those assembly lines in June.
Good.
Oh, it's a great point that you mentioned that.
And they should have been filling up in warehouses in mainland China and in Hong Kong, where they get picked up by ships, and then they get here late September, early October, and then they're ready for that November, Then they go into warehouses here, and then they get put on trucks, eventually, delivered to stores on time. And now they're having to pay a shit ton extra money to fly these to get to meet their demands. If you don't produce enough, you end up having to do stupid shit like that, which makes everything cost more. I mean, Nintendo pulled that shit with the Switch, and at least with the Switch, it was all fake. That was just Nintendo to drive up sales. They knew by creating shortages. I don't think Sony wanted these kind of shortages.
No.
But at the same time, they're like, well, we're not going to eat these costs. We're going to
and again, the COVID situation certainly has thrown a wrench into a lot of manufacturers, not just even consoles. If you go out and you look at any of your launch consoles that you basically bought in like November month, right? Look at the manufacturing dates on them. Like the bulk load of them are done in June, July. Yeah. So like you said, they have to have a large portion of those done within the first month or two, like I said, in order to get that shipping, to get them into the warehouses overseas. Obviously, Sony right now try to please as many people as they can. They're catering to certain countries first, obviously North America and a few other ones where they figure their probably demand is the highest and stuff. So it kind of sucks. Mag, did you pre-order one, or like are you worried about your pre-orders and stuff at all? Or
I'm on the priority list with Best Buy. So, but I don't give a shit anymore, because the reason why is because I know I'm not getting it in 2020. I can almost guarantee it at this point. That's fine. I'll play Miles Morales.
PlayStation 5?
What's that?
Are you talking about PlayStation 5?
PlayStation 5, yeah. No, the Xbox I had no problem. They had the stores up here had tons. I think I mentioned that a couple weeks ago or last week when we pre-ordered. Like it was ridiculous that how many Xboxes they had. Anyways, I'm on the priority for the PS5, but I'm like, at this point, doesn't look like I'm going to get it in 2020. There was nothing really enticing to me except for the Miles Morales thing, but I already told you my feelings about that. So you know what? I'll play Miles Morales on my PS4. I don't really care. And I'll get my next-gen experience on the Series X. Now, in regards to what we were talking about here, the subject at hand, I have a serious problem with not the specifics and not the details as to why there's a shortage. I want to attack what Sony's response has been. And this is where I have a deep, deep, deep problem with Sony as a company. I've said this before. I'll say it again. I even said it last night in Primetime Gaming. I love PlayStation. I fucking hate Sony. Okay? They're a bunch of snakes in the fucking grass. Every last one of them. And their wording, their slimy wording, the way that they try to, we said this. It's all lawyer speak to me. Right? And if you you know what I'm saying? And you read into it. Anyways, they fucking knew for months that they weren't going to have these ready. But they did this. I'll tell you what they did. They pushed ahead anyway. And they did it because they wanted to show face, because they knew that Microsoft was ready and Microsoft was ready to launch. And of course, Microsoft is ready to launch November 10th. So what do? They try to put that in there. So they're just trying to save face at this point. So what they're going to do, they get away with it. They're like, all right, well, we only can send out 5 million or whatever they're going to send out. All right, there's your 5 million. There, okay, we'll do that. So that at least nobody can say we lied and we didn't have enough. But then everybody gets fucked. And they're what they should have done.
And they're like, we didn't change our numbers.
Right.
We didn't change our how many we wanted to come out.
Scumbag move by the executives. Scumbag move. So now the rest of the people, they should have delayed the console into 2021 because they knew they weren't ready from day one, but they pushed ahead anyway. They got people's emotions going. They got people excited for something, and they're not going to get it. That's going to turn a lot of people off. You can lie to yourself all you want, but that's the truth. And people are going to get pissed off, myself included, because I was really looking forward to a PS5 because I really wanted to play the whole Miles Morales thing on the PS5. And then, of course, that whole disaster.
Yeah, the games were not coming to PS4, and all of a sudden they're going on PS4 too.
You know, only with the power.
We don't believe in
PS5.
generations, but let's put them on PS4.
That DLC is going to be mighty sweet on the PS4 for
Yeah, like you know what I'm saying? Like it's ridiculous. So like anyways, what I think they did is they did it on purpose to save face, to say, well, we didn't really lie technically because we did release the console. It's just none of you motherfuckers are gonna get one.
Well, anyone that has any common sense can see that they lied, right? But the fanboys aren't going to call them out on this. The PlayStation fans are not going to, they're not going to, why would they ever do that? Like, this is ammunition for us that the PlayStation, like, they're never going to say anything about this.
So
but
now,
could you imagine, real quick, could you imagine, let's say they delayed it till 2021. Could you imagine Xbox Series X and S owning the console market for a whole month and a half? They had to lie about this. You know,
what about the fact that it's 5 weeks from now when we haven't even seen it?
Well,
other than a 3D rendering.
Well,
has anybody got it in their hands?
That's another issue.
5 weeks, guys.
Yeah.
That's 2.5 paychecks away. Think about that for a second. We're not talking about next year. We're not talking about 6 months. 2 paychecks from now. That fucking console is supposedly hitting the streets. Where is it?
And that thing is huge. They're only going to be able to fit a few of those on each airplane to get them over here.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, one for
Hercules.
You know, and like I said, this is not
a bunch of PlayStation 4s as jet engines to fly them on over.
Yeah,
and this is not a PlayStation bashing situation. This is a Sony executive bashing situation that I have a problem with, because I have a problem with the way that they conduct themselves with their fans. And the one thing is, when you've got 110 plus million consoles out there, that means that there are fans, and those fans who are paying customers deserve answers, and they're not getting answers. And that is not fair as a consumer. They have a social responsibility to tell their consumers exactly what's going on, what they're paying for. Now, imagine King David, who's got 3 PS5s lined up, and he doesn't get them. That man is going to turn into Godzilla and destroy Tokyo. I'll tell you right now. He's going to come out of that ocean and start breathing fire, and he's going to destroy that.
He may have to make a new video instead of a positivity, but negativity.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm ugly on the inside. I'm coming to get you, Sony.
So now what's people going to do? Now they got that pre-order in there. And now they're like, oh, so now I don't get one? You know, and there's going to be millions of people. Okay? Yeah. There's going to be millions of people that are going to be facing that. And then that's where Uncle Phil walks in and goes, oh, by the way, we have all this awesome shit right here.
Oh, and by the way,
then we got
there's going to be more
Xbox
Series S's and X's available at launch.
Tons of them, and I guarantee that's a marketing strategy too. I talked about that about a couple of weeks ago. I said there's a marketing strategy. You know, you walk into the store, not us, okay, not us, casual people. Let's say they're walking into the store and they see the PS5 shelf or the PlayStation section is completely empty, and then you go look and there's a bunch of an Xbox Series S and Series X's there, right? They're going to look at that and they're going to be like, well, I guess little Tommy's getting this Series X. How much is it? $299? Yeah, give me 2. I'll get one for his cousins. Okay? And I've actually had 2 people call me in the last 3 days saying, these are from parents, want to buy stuff for their kids. First of all, I laughed at them. I'm like, you guys want to spend $700 for your fucking 7-year-old kid for a PS5? What the hell for? Because up here with tax, it's $700. So anyhow, the point is, guess what they're doing? Yeah, exactly, to play Fortnite. Well, guess what they're doing now? They're both trying to get the Xboxes now because they just gave up on it. They're like, nah, it's hopeless. We're not going to get the stupid thing anyway. So they're just getting Xbox. They don't give a shit. The kid doesn't care. I mean, they might care a little bit, you know, the PS4 era. Like my son is an Xbox player, and all the kids at school were playing PS4. And they're like, and they wanted to play Fortnite together and this and that. This is, you know, before the crossplay thing and all that. And now, you know, it became an issue, became a social issue. But who's going to have a PS5? Nobody. See what I'm getting at? So now everybody's going to start moving over to that Xbox. So this is good for Xbox, but shame on you, Sony executives, for not being transparent.
Yeah.
And shame on you for not being transparent. Shame on you for not telling the customers exactly what's going on. Shame on you for taking their money and not explaining what exactly what's happening, when and how. Okay? If I were anybody else, and if I actually had my money down, even though I'm on the priority list, but I didn't put any money down. If I had my money down, I would cancel it just on principle alone. And I have a feeling I'm not the only person out there who's pissed off, upset, and frustrated.
Mojo, I didn't ask you, but did you pre-order a PS5 at all?
Yeah, I ended up getting one. Oddly enough, I didn't get mine until the second day, about 8:00 that night on day 2, after they were supposedly sold out. Best Buy had some, and
nice.
So yeah, but I've already kind of sold my pre-order already. So yeah, I just decided, you know what? It's
right.
I paid me up full in advance, and I'm like, you know what?
Wow.
Crap, that's going to pay for me a PS5 down the road as well as my Series X. Shit. I couldn't say no.
Wow, man knows how to pull a deal.
I didn't ask like crazy money, like $3,000, like the King is wanting for his. I'm not trying to buy an Escalade, but the guy actually offered me $1,500.
Wow.
Well, actually, what he said was, if you're going to sell it, what's it going to take? And I started thinking about, well, there's dudes trying to get 3,000 on eBay, or they will when it gets closer to Christmas. Yeah. And I'm thinking, well, half of that'll be what all I would want. So I'm like, 1,500. And he was like, I'll take it. And I'm like, you know, there's going to be some of these still available between now and release, probably. This was before the shortage got even more serious. I actually did this like 2 days after that. So it was like they released them, and then I got mine that next day. And then it was like 2 days after that. And I'd already sold my pre-order, and the guy paid for it.
Nice.
Gave him a receipt, and he's going to show up with me the day when we pick it up.
And are you going to get that pre-order though?
Huh?
Because are you going to actually get that pre-order, or are you going to be one of the ones that they say,
hey, if he gets delayed? And he's
that's
like,
what I'm saying.
I got one, and from you, and he'll get it when he gets it. He ain't getting his money back, that's for sure.
Can you imagine how frustrating that is? You paid for it, someone else paid for it for the resale, whatever. And then you got to get a hold of that guy. And I understand the situation, but I'm just saying, imagine 4 months later, you're like, and they're going to be like, yeah, by the way, you're not getting it for another 6 months or 4 months or whatever.
He already knows too. He's heard and seen all the reports and stuff. But he's holding out that it'll show up day one. But I was like, well, don't come bitching at me if it don't. Like, you need to contact Sony.
Yeah, Chipmunk in the chat, he's asking, do you like how the PS5 looks? Honestly, Chipmunk, I went through this on podcast before. I do. I'm one of the people that actually likes it. Like, I do kind of like it. I like the futuristic style that, they went a little bit different. Like, I like the Xbox Series X for the most part. Just Xbox Series X is a little bit on the plain side, whereas, they kind of went a little bit different with, Sony's always been mostly a little like off or a little different with their consoles. I don't like the size of it. It looks fucking massive, but outside of that, I do kind of like the design. I think it kind of looks cool, especially the white and black. I know a lot of fans are like, they don't like the white look at all. They want like an all black console, which I think is coming, but I do kind of like it, and I definitely like the controller. So
I thought it was the ugly.
I love it. I love the white. I love the controller.
Ever come out.
I've seen pictures of the black.
They've done it for generations.
I've seen pictures of the black version of the PlayStation 5. It's just paint black kind of thing. And that looks so much better than the white, in my opinion. And you go into style. You talk about style. Black, kind of shades size. It gives, since this thing is so massive, the color black naturally hides size. And so I'm really surprised they didn't go with just black to start with.
I like the 8-year-old and said, "What do you want your next PlayStation to look like?" I mean, it's
Joe Dunmore.
It's not designed by any engineer.
What Joe said?
Joe says the PS5 looks like a mattress.
The Series X is very industrial looking, and I really like that. It's that team that they got doing that shit. They really took to heart what Apple did with some of their products, and you can see it with the Surface line, and then with the 1S, the 1X, and now the Series S and X. I think
just remember, the best advice I can give any of you guys in the chat is don't worry about what your console looks like. Don't even need to worry about what you looks like in this life as your old lady, because you got to wake up next to that bitch every day, okay?
You stick it under your television, you forget about it. Although you can't stick the PS5 under your TV. It will not fit.
Yeah, unless you want to put the TV on the roof.
It's going to have to sit beside the TV on top. Fuck that.
I want to know what Joe Dunmore is doing with his mattress. He must really smash at night because to warp that thing to that shape, Joe. Come on, man. Take it easy on your girl or wife or whatever you got over there, man.
I can hear a lot of moms come Christmas and the kid wakes up in the morning and goes, Mom, what happened to the Christmas tree? She had to get rid of it to make room for the PS5, dude. Damn. Alrighty. We had a couple more topics, but they're not all that important for tonight. Real quickly, there was a G.I. Joe game that's coming out in October. The trailer looked pretty cool, guys. I suggest you go check it out. If you're a G.I. Joe fan at all, go give it a look. It looks like it's going to have a campaign and be co-op and stuff, and it looks like a lot of the old voice actors from the 80s cartoon. I'm pretty excited about it. I never knew nothing about it till today, so I think it's pretty neat. And I'll definitely have to try to check it out. I think the guys on this panel probably feel the same way. Any quick thoughts on the G.I. Joe trailer, and if you probably plan to buy the game? Anybody?
No, unless it's part of Name That Game. That's what
I'll end up getting the game, but I was not a fan of G.I. Joe back in the day. I thought it was just a cheap cash grab. And I'm so old. I was already an adult when those cartoons came out. If they make a Johnny Quest game, I'm fucking all over that. That's my jam.
Who?
This jam.
Yeah.
But
I'll check it out. I mean, I love G.I. Joe.
I like
But it kind of looked a little Fortnite-ish. But I mean, you never know. It might be cool. It might be something cool to play with the kids or something. I don't know. I have no idea. But you know what? We'll find out. Check it out when it comes out. Let's take a look. You never know. It might end up on Game Pass for all we know.
I got a question for people in the chat or for the panel here. Anyone can answer this. Guys, remember it was supposed to be like the TurboGrafx 16 classic? Did that fucking thing ever come out? Because I never heard shit about it.
I got one.
They delayed it. They delayed it for a longest time, and I never heard nothing. And I can't find the fucking thing anywhere.
Now it came out, sold out.
Who's selling it? Because I can't find one. I would like to get it to complete my collection.
Amazon Japan still has the.
Oh God!
You can get the American version, the TurboGrafx over there.
Yeah,
but for much cheaper, you can just get the PC Engine, and they're all three the same. Whether you get the European version, the US, or the Japanese, but Amazon Japan still has them, and actually Amazon US just got a handful of the TurboGrafx in a couple weeks back. That's when I got mine. I was in the hospital when the initial shipment hit, and it sold out real quick. And but they got some back in, and I
like to snag one if I can at some point, because obviously I missed out and I didn't want to have to order from Japan, that sort of thing. And I want to get one because I got the SNES Classic, I got the Genesis Classic, so I think it'd be cool if I had all three, the 16-bit consoles. So
of all of those, TurboGrafx 16 one is the best one. It's got the games and the menu system just smoother and flows, and it's got a crap ton of games.
And that's right. Titan says, don't go because we got that name of the game coming up. And that is right. It is that time of the night for Mag's section. So, Mag, I believe you got another one coming. So drop her in here before we get out of here.
Live from Studio 69 in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. Welcome to Name That Game. And here is your host, Tony Baloney. That's right, it's Tony Baloney here, ladies and gentlemen. Tony Baloney's here. Oh my God, we got Mojo Blues here. We got Titan Drago here. We've got Noof Nukem here. Cut the music. We've got important things to discuss. Titan, don't ever interrupt me again. Ever. Or you will be banned from the studio. I can't believe this is happening. Oh my goodness. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Name That Game. I will describe a game very badly. And what we will do from any generation. And you must simply name that game. Anyone can chime in anytime for the warm-up question, but the real challenge is this. Whoever in the chat gets it right first, I'll keep a tally, and whoever gets the most right over the next 10 weeks, I will buy you a game of your choice, standard edition, for any system. Can you beat that? No, you can't beat that. So let's get right into the game, and this question and this riddle will be allowed to be answered by the panel. Name that game. Everyone thinks I'm a girl, but it's just the ungrateful bitch I keep saving.
Metroid.
Name that game. Mojo Blues, you are absolutely 100% wrong. Everyone thinks I'm a girl, but it's just the ungrateful bitch I keep saving. Name that game.
The ungrateful bitch I keep saving.
Crazy
Oh my
got
God,
it
a bunch
with
of amateurs here tonight.
What's
going on?
that.
Holy
Crazy
shit.
got it. Crazy got it.
Crazy Greek dude got it. It was Zelda. It was Zelda. Okay, that was the warm-up question. Oh, that was the warm-up question. You think that one was difficult? Ridiculous. This one is difficult, and this is the one that's going to count. So please, panel, do not answer this question. This is specifically for the chat, and I will be keeping my eyes very close to it. Name that game. You wage war by decapitating a bunny? What the fuck is wrong with you? Name that game. It's a tough one, folks. Punk Soul, we already said Zelda. We're on to the next question. Ridiculous. I will repeat the question. Last of Us. Insanity. Absolutely wrong. Fallout 4? Where did they decapitate bunnies in Fallout 4? Chipmunk, you are booted. Bad for a day. It's actually not bad. I will repeat the question. You wage war by decapitating a bunny? What the fuck is wrong with you? Holy shit, it's Sandro St. Fleur. It was Doom. It was Doom. That was a deep cut. If anybody remembers the very first Doom, the last scene, the scene after the credits, was that the demons came back and they decapitated a bunny and stuck it on a stick. Unbelievable. I didn't think anybody was actually going to get that answer. Yep, but it is Sandro St. Fleur. So, Sandro St. Fleur, you are now on the list. You now have one tick next to your name. It is week 6. We are going into week 7. You still have a chance. You better come back every single week. And whoever has the most will win at Name That Game.
Wow,
Woo.
bravo. Like, I had no clue on that one.
Yeah,
I
shit,
dug
damn.
deep on that one.
Oh,
Yeah, I got his name now. It's Sandro St. Fleur.
all right, middle age. Give us a rundown on the points right now.
I will give you a rundown. It is still standing at a tie for first place. We still have Dreadpool with 2. We've got Emmanuel A1, who I didn't see in the chat tonight. He had a chance
He
to
was
pull
here
ahead.
early. Yep.
He was here earlier. Too bad.
He had to go early.
Emmanuel A1 has 2. Joe Dunmore has 1. And Ronan Samurai has 1. And now Sandro St. Fleur has 1 as well. And like I said, we were heading into week 6. So exciting work. All right, that's it.
Fantastic. Yes, and shout out to the new people, including Sandro, who looks like it's first time on this, at least first time I've seen him in the chat. We got Bran the Don. What's going on, Bran? Chipmunk is here. Phantom Kraken. Thank you guys. A lot of new faces here. Love to see it. Love all the old guys too that have been showing up week in, week out. Alan Savage, one of my bros right there, baby. ACS Huss, Sean Carpenter, what is going on? Darko's Dreamers. Hello, everybody. Welcome. We got Mr. OG White in here who drops another $1.99 into super chat. He says that was awesome. And we had another super chat. Just let me catch up to it here, guys. From Safe Space Invader drops $5 into super chat. This is a great show. Xbox Series X, so quiet, but not as quiet as Quiet Ryan. Get it? Just dated myself. Great stuff, guys. Great chat. Amazing show. Shizno Elite, what's up? And Joe Dunmore. There you go, guys. Wow. Like, I can't believe the like to watch ratio here tonight. That's insane. I don't know if I've ever
I'm going to talk about that on our outro tonight. Too.
Damn. Well, we are ready for the outros. And let's let our amazing guest who came in here tonight, did a great job, Mr. Mojo Blues. Mojo, let everybody know what's happening with you, where they can find your content, and all that good stuff, my friend.
On Friday afternoons, I'm on Mads Gaming's Next Gen podcast with Jamie Moran and Wandering Dutch. Saturday nights, 8 p.m., I do my own little podcast. Don't really have a name other than Best Damn Xbox Podcast, but because we talk a lot more than just Xbox, I'm thinking of changing the name to Everything But the Kitchen Sink Podcast, but I don't know yet. We'll see. You know, I don't care what the name is, but yeah, I'm on there, and then I'm on Twitter way too much. You know, I used to work 12-hour shifts overnight, so just to kill time, I was on Twitter, but now I'm medically retired, which really sucks. But now I went from just 12 hours playing on Twitter to way too much. But that's all right. It is what it is. But Mojo _Blues is how they can hunt me down anywhere.
There you go, guys. Give Mojo a follow and check out his content, and we'll keep you posted when he gets to come back on a guest spot at some point in time.
Looking forward to it.
Yes, indeed. And we look forward to it. Crispy Bob is still hanging out with us. ACS Husk still in the chat. Speaking of ACS Husk, he's a great dude. And he drops $2 and says, cheers. Well, thank you, Husk. I definitely can see Husk right now raising his glass because the man's always got a beer or some sort of alcoholic beverage for pretty much every podcast I've ever seen him on.
Right on.
The man is well liquidated. That's what he needs. The liquidation podcast with ACS Husk. All right, Infinite, thanks for being here, brother. Brand the Don, yes, great guys. Thanks for all the love and the support. Thank yous. And let's get over to the panel members, starting with Mr. Titan Drago.
It's been a great night, everyone. Mojo, great you could join us. You had some great, insightful points that I really appreciate being an educator myself. But if you like the show, guys, just know, kind of interrupt myself, just by going the like to viewer ratio, as Noof pointed out earlier, there is no better podcast when it comes to that ratio. At least I haven't seen one. Like that is crazy. But I'm here to tell you guys, like, we haven't even found our flow yet. And I know a lot of people say it's great, this and that, but it's kind of like a football team that gets put together, right? There's a period where you got to learn each other's cues and mannerisms, and you know, because I've been doing podcasts for a while now, and trust me, this podcast is in its infancy. Noof, Mag, and I are the most charismatic like podcasters you're gonna find on YouTube, and it's only gonna get better from here on out. And until next week, I want everyone to be more like Spider-Man 356 because he is yet another person in the chat that I really appreciate being here. He will challenge you, talk trash, and he can take the trash talk being sent back at him. So respect to Spider-Man L in the chat. He is my Bringing the Common Back to Sense Award winner for this week. Thank you, everybody.
I love it. There you go. I love it. Yeah, so my good buddy Free Jack in the house. Man, that's awesome. I love it. So many great people showing up here each and every week. You guys are fucking fantastic. All right. And speaking of fantastic, let's hand it over to the man. Did you guys know it's the Mag?
Well, yes. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you, Mojo Blues, for coming on to the show. It was a great time. Chat, you guys are awesome as always. You guys are the most amazing chat ever. So welcoming, so inviting, so friendly, and so supportive of all of us on the show here. So great thank you to all of you for coming out. And by the way, Noof, I thought this was interesting. I mentioned it last night. He showed up in Primetime Gaming last night. Was Brand the Dawn 33 was actually standing in front of me at line when we were pre-ordering the Series X. Wow. And we just started chatting. And I'm like, yeah, I'm on these shows, this and that. And we started getting onto it. And all of a sudden he showed up. And I was like, holy shit, there he is.
That's so cool.
Yeah, just a shout out to that, to him being a local boy. So anyways, you can catch me every Monday night at 8 p.m. with Mr. Boomstick XL and friends on Primetime Gaming. You can catch me every Tuesday night at 10 p.m. With these guys, Noof Nukem, Titan Drago, for Gaming After Dark. And it's always a wild time. And actually, this Saturday, I'm a busy cat this week. I got another podcast going on at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time called The Shop. And it's, man, those guys know what they're talking about. So I'm going to be doing that as well. And you can find me on Twitter at the Middle Age Game Guy. That's with a GY at the end. You can find me on Xbox at all capitals, one word, DEDMEAT1. That is Dead Meat 1. And on the PlayStation side, you can find me all capitals, one word, I am the Meg, because I don't know how to be quiet. Everybody, have a wonderful week. Have a great time. Thank you very much, and good night.
Yes, PTK Blam is awesome. Shop podcast, another good. Lots of great podcasts out there, though, guys.
Yes,
really,
I'll be on that show.
Yeah, shout out to like all the podcasters, really, and like almost all of the podcasts. I mean, I watch quite a few. I try to catch as many as I can, and it's fucking hard because there is a lot. When I started this gig a few years ago, man, like seriously, like it seemed like there was only about a half a dozen. Now there are a dime a dozen. It's like 3 or 4 almost every day. It's near impossible. If I watched everybody and listened to every podcast constantly, I don't think I'd ever play a single video game the rest of my life. I try to support where I can, and I appreciate the support back. And trust me, we see you guys in this chat. We know who's here each and every week. We see the retweets, we see the likes, and it is appreciated. That sort of stuff. And I'm not here to brag about anything. I do know, and I agree with Titan. It isn't about being better than somebody else. I definitely think that our panel and this podcast, though, has an amazing chemistry, something that not every podcast finds. Some get it, some don't. I love what we bring here each and every week. When I lost Primal, I was pretty worried. I was like, man, it's very hard to replace a girl like that. And it still is. She's an amazing girl, and she is welcome here anytime. And I think the chat feels the same way. But boy, with Titan and Mag here, it's like every fucking week, it's just deliver. These motherfuckers are like the FedEx guys, man, just showing up on time.
USPS, man.
Yes. So I love it, and I love the chat. You guys are fucking the unsung heroes, because if you're not here and you're not supporting, this is pointless for us. We'd be just blowing hot air, just like people are going to do into the fucking PlayStation DualSense here pretty soon. So anyway, I want to shout out to War in the chat, because he says this is an awesome panel too. We appreciate that, War. Thanks for showing up again. And guys, we'll be back again on next Tuesday, same time, same place. Share this with all your friends, tell all your relatives, even tell your grandma, because apparently middle-aged game guy, apparently his family listens and they like it.
Hell yeah.
So there you go. So if your granny can approve, it's all approved, just right there. All right, shout out to Jesse Darby. What's going on? Anyway, guys, I'm going to let you guys get out of here. I know it's late. We're almost 20 minutes past our normal runtime, but it's great. Thanks again to Mojo. Thanks to the chat. Obviously, thank you for our panel, and we're going to catch up with you guys next week. So have a great night, everybody. Stay safe. And just by the way, I'm actually off tomorrow, so if anybody's around and you see me on Xbox or PlayStation or wherever, send me an invite or something. Maybe we'll play some games tomorrow. That's how it should be, right? We'll catch you later, guys. Peace out.
Thanks, everybody.